I'm annoyed. I'm just here to give my opinion and carry in. Oh, it's Chris Avalon Unfiltered, bitch. Well, hello, everybody. Welcome, and happy Thursday. It's your boy, Chris Avalon. Welcome to a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered, a show we basically talk about all things going on in celebrity news, our topics, the usual, whatever's going on in the world of entertainment. We talk about it on this here show. So before we get started, can you do me a solid and hit that like button, that subscribe button, and the notification button so that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. And it is, in my opinion, a slow news day today. There's not a lot going on. But I was able to scrape along. I don't know. There was something going on with Twitch. I don't know what the hell happened, but apparently they were saying like my title is invalid or whatever the case is. Hold on, because I'm gonna post the live stream on the Twitter because we got a lot of tea. I'm glad I'm doing all this now. Oh, wait a minute. Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman did an episode of Hot Ones. Oh, I gotta check that out. Hold on. What am I gonna say? Oh, I know I should have been doing all this ahead of time, but I forgot because I was busy looking up this Tyler Perry thing that I was like, oh, well, I came across it. This little Tyler Perry situation. But anyway, because that is one of the topics we're going to talk about today. So we're going to talk about Celine Dion. She's out in Paris about to, well, they keep saying it's not confirmed. But child, it's confirmed. Why the hell else would she be in Paris if she's not doing, the Olympics? So she's not going to be singing at the Olympics. And then, well, according to reports, she is returning to Las Vegas for another residency. So we're going to talk about that. They're talking about Bennifer. I mean, well, not Bennifer, because Hennifer is on point with the body. But apparently Ben is out here eating his, pain away. And they talking about that he's been pigging out since, the splitation between him and Hennifer. So we're going to talk about that. Plus, Tyler Perry, we definitely have to break down this little bitch fest he did when he went on Miss Keke Palmer's podcast where he was trying to read those of us who actually calling us highbrow Negroes, for those of us who don't like his low vibration movies. So we're going to talk about that. Plus, Josh Hartnett is saying that attending Taylor Swift's Eras Tour concert helped him understand the fandom, and that was the research that he used for his upcoming movie Trap, the M. Night Shyamalan thriller that's coming out next month that I'm actually looking forward to. Plus, Chris Brown is being sued for the second time in a week, this time by a security guard who tried to break up that brawl that happened backstage at one of his concerts. Plus, Cardi B, child, apparently she's being called out for being homophobic again because apparently Barb spat at her waxwork. So yeah, talk about that. Plus, she went in on Ice Spice because apparently Ice Spice got a diss track on her new album, and of course, per usual, Cardi went and took to Twitter and her social media platforms and decided to say what she said in regards to that instead of just taking it to the damn, studio and putting it out that way, as people who are in beefs should be doing instead of wasting valuable time and coins, or not even coins, because you don't need to pay for social media. I mean, Elon does with Twitter, and I ain't giving him no money, which is why I can't even live stream over there no more. But that's why I had to drop the link in. But anyway, and then we got the top story, which is, of course, in the picture. Apparently, Azealia Banks decided to go in on Charli XCX because Charli is endorsing Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris has kind of changed her whole aesthetic to like the whole Brat aesthetic. And so Azealia Banks, per usual, because, when you got a lot of time on your hands, you can go on social media and just go in on every celebrity that does something that pisses you off. So we're going to talk about that. Plus, Cher has a memoir coming out. She's got it coming out in two parts, though, which is what we said. I could have sworn Britney said she was going to do a two-parter. I don't think we're going to get that from Britney, but we definitely get it from Cher. So we're going to talk about Cher's upcoming memoir. Ariana Grande's gay brother, Frankie, apparently got the Trump supporting trolls titties in a twist because he said that he is reclaiming MAGA. So it ain't gonna be make America great again. He gonna make America gay again. So we gotta talk about that. Plus, Lemon, or as I like to call her, to piss some of the people that be in the comments, Lemon. Because people get mad that I don't call her citron because that's the French term, when it's basically me doing a French accent. I mean, a French person with an American thick accent from the French Asian saying lemon the way I be saying it. And I shouldn't have to explain why I say stuff, but apparently I do. But anyway, so apparently the peoples is out here body shaming her, saying she a big girl now. Because when they saw her on Canada versus the World. And I'm sitting there like, would y'all leave her alone? First of all, she looks fine. So we're gonna talk about that. And if anything else pops up throughout the show, because like I said, it's not a lot of things going on, it's not a lot of topics. Y'all could definitely throw it down in the comments below. But anyway, so before we get started, let me hit my banner. And also, could you please do me a solid, as I said, and hit that like button, that subscribe button, and the notification bell, so that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. Oh yeah, I did see there was something on Keefe D in this whole situation where they said Diddy paid him. There was a whole thing where Diddy may have been conspiring with the death of Tupac. I did see that. I thought about bringing that into the show, but I was like, I really am not. I don't. My energy right now is not very much. I want to talk about something that heavy, so I'll probably save that for. I'll probably, you know what? Damn, I was gonna say I might do a Sunday show, but I don't know if I can because I told you I'm gonna go see Sleepaway Camp at the IFC Theater in the city. And I've never seen Sleepaway Camp in a theater. And I think the director of the film is going to be there. So it's going to be like a whole Q&A thing. I've never actually seen that movie because it was like I was an infant when it came. So this is my opportunity to actually see one of my all-time favorite slasher movies in a theater. So I don't even know if I'll be able to do this. So I'm going to try to do a show. If I do it early. And then Monday, I'll give y'all another one. So I may have to come on one of the weekends because tomorrow and all that other stuff is busy. How you doing? Oh, you said Azealia Banks been not like. Well, I can believe. But does Azealia like anybody? I mean, the last time we saw her, she was at a Trump rally. So we already know where she stands. And then I just heard not too long ago, I was on Twitter because I was looking up something for the show, and I saw they got canceled Netflix trending, and it's because apparently Netflix has donated money to Kamala Harris's campaign. So apparently people's all upset. I said, well, I guess y'all just gonna sit up in it. What y'all gonna watch? The 700 Club? Like y'all mad because the whole situation with who companies and corporations are endorsing? So you want them to endorse a fascist? Like, get out of here. And agreed. So I was like, Azealia has plenty of time on her hands since she really doesn't have a career or a house. Because didn't she get evicted for not paying her rent? And it said Mindy Cohn. Oh yeah, I did see that Mindy Cohn said a greedy bitch kept the Facts of Life reboot from happening. A lot of people think it's Kim since her and Mindy haven't been. You know what? I was actually wondering if it might have been Kim Fields because I know Kim Fields is out here film. You know, she's a director. She's been doing things behind the scenes. I know she has. I think don't she have the Upshaws on Netflix? But I think that show is done already. Like I don't think it's getting another season. I think they wrapped that show already. So Kim Fields does have prominence within the industry, but I hope she's not the one that's holding back. But I guess maybe it's because she's the only one from the Facts of Life that's had like this steady career post the Facts of Life. That one season she did of Real Housewives of Atlanta, that was a chop. Excuse me. So yeah, then there was something else I was gonna bring up too, but I forgot. Oh, now I know what it was. I went to the Queens of R&B tour last night. First of all, it was good. Second of all, I've come to find out because I spoke to my mother earlier. My cousin was there, and I was like, I could have sworn I saw her. One, it was like I expected, like because she is of the age, she's in her 50s. She's in that age range where she would, listen to SWV, Escape, all that stuff. I grew up with them too. But so I was like, it definitely, I could imagine that she would be there. First of all, it was like 90% women in there. There's a couple of gays, some good looking men up in there. My grinder was going off last night. One guy was sending me here's the thing that I don't understand about Grinder. Why do they send expiring photos? I don't get the whole expiring photo thing. Like if y'all want to hook up or whatever, can I just like see the photo and I can keep it there? Like I'm not trying to steal your pictures. I have my own shit, trust and believe. My own videos, my own pictures, all that stuff. But I don't understand like why they put the expiring photos for Grinder. It's like don't know. I be thinking it's like a catfish thing. It's probably not a catfish thing, but I just don't understand like the whole expiring photo thing. And the boys stay sending me booty pictures. Not that I'm complaining, but it's just like it's always ass in the air, full on hole. I'm like, men are such whores. I guess that's one of the reasons why I love being gay. How you doing? But overall, I will say this: the show was pretty good. Damn, I wish I had the list in front of me of who performed. So there's a girl group, I can't remember their name. They were like, literally they performed for 10 minutes. They were just like, what the hell they gonna do? Just come out and say hi and bye? So it's this girl group that apparently that Candy is developing that because she came out and she said it. The voice was shaking per usual, like she was nervous or whatever. But I know that's like usually what it is when you come out in front of people. So she was a little nervous, I guess. So she came out, the girl group performed. They were cute or whatever. The little pitchy in the beginning, but I guess there was nerves. But overall, they got it together and they performed. Then we had I'm trying to remember who else came out. Then I remember 702 came out. So Irish passed away, so they had the other two girls there. They definitely had the crowd going, and I expected like people weren't really gonna flood in until around when Maya got to the stage. But people was in there kind of early, which surprised me. It was a lot of the women was coming in. It was mostly women in there. Yeah, there was one boy I was looking at him, and he had these little tattoos on his thigh area, and he was taking a picture with this girl. I was like, "Chuck, you only knew your man is a homosexual." But I was like, let me not sit out here and try to out nobody, man. but but anyway, so there was one guy that was there with like this hat, this big old hat on. I was like, is that Tay Diggs? I couldn't tell, but it looked like him. I thought he would have been further down in the front, but he wasn't 100. So that's those seats are expensive. So what happened? Oh, so then 702 performed, they did good. Then MC Light came out at one point. I heard her, I didn't really see her because I was pretty much floating around the arena the entire night. So I was in and out of bombs doing stuff. So I wasn't really like I couldn't fully sit and watch the show like I would normally would, because I was just all over the damn place yesterday. But I will say this, Maya's performance, she gave show. Like we got to give it up to our women of a certain age. Like I know she's not that old; she's in her 40s, early 40s. But she was up there like giving full on Catwoman realness, and that outfit, the body was body, and she was singing. Like when we normally hear Maya, she always kind of sounds like she's like it's very breathy and airy, like very Janet Jackson. Like it's very like she's very soft. No, Miss Mamas was up in there giving full on like church. Like she sounded like she was hitting the notes. She had this bravado that I didn't even realize that she had. But I guess maybe because like the way they make you sing in the studio, whatever, like the voice is different when you're out in concert and you're live. But she was definitely giving range. So I truly underestimated Maya and her singing ability because I never seen her live. And yes, Cisco did come out during their biggest hit, which was what, All About Me or whatever. I can't remember the name of it. I was a Maya fan, but I'm horrible with titles. But Cisco came out and sang with her. And then I remember, so then we got to SWV and Escape. They definitely gave show. I love the idea of them like co-headlining. So SWV come out first, they do a song, then while they're running off the stage and the dancers are taking the chairs and the mic stands and stuff, when the lights go out, then you got Candy and them girls come out and they perform. They do their little yang yang, and then they go backstage, and then SWV comes out again, and they had this little video clip in between, like where they took a little break, where they was doing some type of vault breaking thing. That part was confusing. I didn't know what the hell that was, but I guess they just had to come up with something, and it was Tyler Perry bad. The acting, the shots. Oh, it was giving Tyler Perry tease. And yeah, we're gonna talk about Tyler in this show later on. So yes, you had to get that straight, sir, because your shit is subpar, but I will say, like after that, then they came out, and the girls even did a song together, like as we've been. So I just love that whole dynamic that they all came out, and they did something together. It wasn't so like, oh, we're better than this one, we're better than that one. Of course, Coco sang the house down, boots. Everybody was living for her. Like she even sang, "If Only You Knew," which is a Patti LaBelle song. It was hitting all them notes, like taking it to church. Everybody was living. There was a part where they did come out and sing a gospel song, and one girl was like, "I ain't come here to hear that." I was like, look, I know y'all want to hear the R&B stuff, but the reality is between SWV and Escape, to be honest, yeah, they're prominent fixtures in the R&B scene, but they don't have that many hits. They don't have them, so they had to throw a couple of other songs up in there, and they had to have all these other people on the roster. Oh yeah, I forgot. Total performed too, so I forgot all about Total. Well, Pam wasn't there, so they had Tima and Keisha. They came out and they performed. So first of all, they was late to the stage, and I remember from our roll call when they were telling us at the beginning because they said, "What time is the show going to be over?" And there was like a long list of people, and it was like, "So what time is the show ending?" They said 11 o'clock because the reality is what people don't realize: if they go over a certain time, you have to pay a penalty. Like you're renting these arenas, you're renting these stadiums, or whatever the case is. So if you go over a certain time, that's like when the Foo Fighters wasn't going to be able to finish the other arena tour. I mean, the date that they did last week when I worked two of their shows was because it rained and they can't. No, Pam wasn't there. And I was surprised because I was like, wait a minute, so she wasn't she's not with them no more. So and if you know, there was a lot of girl groups that were missing people. Like you, of course, you had Escape with no Tasha. So it was basically the other girls. And Tamika was basically picking up all of Tasha's vocals. There was parts I was like, Candy, you should just do the lower register. Every man loves a woman. Like, stick to that. You shouldn't have been doing the high, like your voice is not there. Even one girl said, because Candy went and said something about it. So she was like, I hope it's not gonna be you because you can't sing. And I sat and just had to turn my head and laugh because I'm like, they are reading Candy on her voice. So we know Candy not the best singer, but um, but it just seemed like it was just a lot of drama that was going on. Because I was just like, a lot of the girl groups was missing members. I understand 702 because Irish passed away, so they got a reason for that. But Pam wasn't there with Total, so it was just the two of them up there. But they sounded pretty good, and they put on a good show. It's like the fans didn't care, so they still gave a show. And then who else? Oh, and then of course with Escape, they only had the three members, and they was able to pull off the show. Um, Wait, hold on. You said no. Tasha was not there. You said no. Pam, no. Pam was not in there. Oh, you said SWV Escape. No, SWV had hits. Um, they both equally had hits, but based on the show, whatever, it just seemed like that they weren't really. I mean, they were singing songs or whatever, but it just seemed like they would do either remix versions of theirs because they did do anything the remix and Method Man came out. Child, when Method Man came out on that stage, I damn near lost my shit because y'all know I love me some Method. And I was like, and I remember like people were ready to leave, but the minute they heard Method Man hit that stage, all of a sudden, and this is what the part I always hate. It's like, why don't y'all just wait till the whole damn show was over? Y'all just be so ready to leave, and then y'all want to rush in and stand and block. Y'all can't be doing that. So fire has it. So y'all need to go back to your seats, do whatever. But I hate when people do that, but they don't be thinking. But you said, yeah, exactly. Too many members with too many members with hip problems. Look, they was up and look, and there was at one point SWV was up there doing, choreography. They was doing they full on too, said they were dancing better than New Edition. Because if y'all look at them old videos, them not even old, recent videos, you see Bobby Brown up there looking a hot ass mess trying to keep up with the rest of the members. Like I had to cackle. I definitely would love to see TLC on that. You know what? TLC being a part of that would have been really good. The problem is, I feel like egos would have been up in that because it's like no shade. Out of the three of those groups, TLC was the bigger act. They were the more successful. They crossed over into like MTV territory. Didn't Crazy Sexy Cool go diamond? Like I don't think that's ever happened with SWV or Escape. So SWV and Escape, while they are R&B, and what was irritating to some of my coworkers, I don't know any of this stuff. If I was thinking R&B, I would have thought like Motown. I'm like, sir, you are telling your age. And yes, his hair was gray. So it's like when you talk about Temptations, Four Top. Like when you think of that, I'm like, that's R&B from like my parents' era. Like if we talking about queens of R&B, and you say SWV and Escape, we talking about artists from the 90s. That's what they're talking about. The 90s and 2000s. Those are the artists that they were talking about that was going to be performing there. Not no Diana Ross and the Supremes. Like, y'all sitting there telling y'all, you were just told your age. Like, Boomer, stop it. No shade to the older people. But it's like, that's what you was expecting? Now, y'all be getting the Billy Joel crowd up in there. So shout out to all the people that, showed up to the show. The show was actually pretty good. And I figured that it was going to be good or whatever. That it was, it was going to be an amazing show. The ladies were singing. And the irritation for me was the people up in there smoke all that nasty ass weed. I was like, I don't want to be smelling that. One time, one person pissed me off at a Blink-182 concert because he blew smoke in my direction. And I was like, take that shit over there. Because first of all, my eyes is drying out. I don't want your contact. And I know y'all probably put like Fenty and all kinds of craziness in y'all stuff. That ain't no pure weed. I'm doing Deadpool tomorrow morning at 11. So I wanted to do today, but the theaters that I wanted to go see it in was sold out. So yeah, I'm going early in the morning, and then I'll probably go to the gym afterwards, like squeeze and work out real quick. And then I got another show to do. So yeah. So I was saying that Crazy Sexy Cool sold more than 10 million copies. So wait, we talking about LaToya? What are we talking about? Oh, you talking about Destiny's Child. It's a no shade, but Kelly and Michelle aren't too much lately. I guess Kelly's now trying to solidify herself as an actress because the music ain't doing nothing. The solo music's not doing anything. Michelle, I know, has been doing. Is she on Broadway? Isn't she doing The Wiz? Or something or another. I have to look into that. Sidebar, shout out to Adam Lambert. He's doing Cabaret in September. I think I need to get a ticket for that. I know I think he might be playing the role that was originally played by Eddie Redmayne. But when I heard that he's going to be taking over and he's going to be doing Cabaret in September, I'm like, bitch, I may have to get a ticket to see that. But anyway, so I say all this to say it was a good show. Fun was had by all. Some, there was some irritations, but I'm always irritated about something. So, but anyway, so I just want to let y'all know about the show last night. But anyway, let's move on and let's get into the Celine Dion story. So apparently the word on the curb is that she is looking to return to Vegas for another residency. I think sometime, they said in late 2024 or 2025 that we should be expecting, excuse me, a Celine Dion residency. Hold on while I pull this picture up. Okay, so it says, according to the outlet, that would be page 6, multiple sources claim the singer, who has lived with stiff person syndrome for years, has been negotiating for months with Resorts World to kick off a residency in late 2024, early 2025. It is not expected to be a long-running show. Saying it's basically a done deal. She's doing it, one source assured TMZ, while a second insider said that she has a passion for getting back on stage and she's going to do it. Reps for the star did not immediately report to page 6 requests for comment. Now, Dion, 56, announced her stiff person diagnosis in December of 2022, which resulted in an indefinite hiatus from performing, saying, I've been dealing with problems with my with my health. Damn, I got the woman in the grave already. She said, I've been dealing with problems with my health for a long time, and it's been really difficult for me to face these challenges and to talk about everything that I've been going through, she told fans in an emotional social media video at the time. However, she noted that she's planned to perform again, saying, all I know is singing. It's what I've done all my life, and it's what I love to do the most. Now, stiff person syndrome affects 1 or 2 in a million people and causes rigidity and painful muscle spasms throughout the body, according to a Cleveland clinic. By the time the 5-time Grammy winner revealed her trying health condition, she had already delayed a Las Vegas residency over severe muscle spasms in October 2021. In May of 2023, she canceled her coverage tour dates to focus on her health. The reported comeback comes 7 months after the My Heart Will Go On hitmaker's sister, Claudette Dion, said she lost control of her muscles. Now, Dion documented her journey with the difficult diagnosis, as you all know, in the I Am Celine Dion, or as I like to say, I Am Celine Dion documentary, which debuted in June. So we got to see all of that stuff, and then they showed the fact that she had a seizure on camera and wanted everybody to see this. And she had said in the documentary that she misses performing, and she hates the fact that she feels like she's letting her fans and stuff down because she loves getting out there and performing. And here's the thing: is like we want you to get better, and we want you to get to be at the best of your ability. But if you have a way that you can work it out in your contract and in your schedule that, okay, I can do this amount of shows for this amount of time, and you can still accumulate and make that money, then hopefully it can happen, and it doesn't get to a point that, okay, you sign on the dotted line to do these residencies, and then it's like, okay, one day you're good, and then the next day when you're about to go out and perform this show, you have a stiff person syndrome. You have an attack from your sickness. So I don't know. It just seems like I understand that this is your dream and this is something that you love to do and it's the only thing that you love to do and you're really trying to push through. And I hope that she can, be able to get out there and give the best, show and give 110%. But a lot of times when you're ill, you can try to control the narrative, you can try to control the thing, but sometimes the thing just be too damn powerful. So she is currently in Paris for the Paris Olympics opening ceremony, and there are rumors that she is going to be, singing at the Olympics, which I believe is tomorrow, right? And I know some people are like, well, I don't have regular TV or whatever. Yeah, if you got Peacock, you can watch it because I'm sure that's exactly where it's going to be. So, where it's going to air. So I'm actually rooting for Celine to get well. Well wishes to her and all this other stuff. We'll see. I guess I'll be holding my breath the entire time while she does the opening ceremony, and we'll see. Like, yeah, I'm rooting for you to just get through this song, or whatever the case is. Because I'm always like that when it comes to people that I like. It's just like I'm just rooting. We're rooting for you, sis. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. So I've heard, because apparently she met with Netanyahu, but also I heard that Netanyahu met with the orange asshole. So, and then, look, we fucked on both sides, quiet as it's kept. But the thing is, ain't no way in hell I'm voting for some damn Trump. So we just gotta. If should Kamala win, what we as a democracy get to do is we get to hold our courts accountable for the things that they do. So we could go just as hard on Kamala with this whole, Israeli genocide thing. Because I saw this video of a doctor that was talking about that he went over there for like a week, and the fact that he said they was doing double taps on kids, meaning that they were getting shot in the head multiple times, and they're using weapons that the military using weapons that that's not even legally allowed to use. So they're openly out there just eradicating Palestinians, starving them, denying them medicine and aid and all that other stuff. And then I saw that bullshit with Netanyahu giving a speech in front of Congress. I saw that while I was working out at the gym doing my deadlifts. So I was sitting there looking, I said, fuck out of here. Like I rolled my eyes the entire time, just went back to my workout and listened to my house music. So, because that's what gets me motivated. So I'm just like, um, I get it. I understand. And even I just saw Cardi B said that she'll support Kamala if she denounces, if she asks for a ceasefire, basically. So, yeah, same here. Let me some Celine. Once I hear she's before, yeah, I heard that too. It said, damn, you out here 8 feet deep. hmm Like I said, a residency would be perfect for her. I prefer her French song. You know what? And the funny thing, a lot of people always said that it was like they like a lot of her French stuff. Um, but I remember that Laura Fabian at one point got the big Celine comparison because they sound similar and they both speak French. I can't speak German, but I'm gonna be like, eh. But having a gaga moment. Speaking of which, she's supposed to be there tomorrow too, or she's already there, but she's supposed to be performing tomorrow. I wonder if they're gonna have them sing together. I wonder if they're gonna do that. Um, and I wonder if Selena's gonna perform her French stuff along with her English stuff. Why wouldn't she? And hey, Sailor Mermaid, it said, I was like, did you spell Netanyahu's name like that on purpose? Or it's like, how do you spell that dumbass name? It said Netanyahu, or however you spell it, was in DC yesterday, and Biden said he would end the war yesterday when they're both in. So, I feel like in with maybe with this whole Netanyahu thing, because you know what, with him saying this is the end of my campaign, and since Biden is like, you know what, he's already spent half a century in office, like 50 years as a public servant in politics. So he's probably like, you know what, I'm gonna just sign all these executive orders. That'll be my legacy. I'm gonna be progressive in a lot of ways, and I'm gonna just drop the mic and walk out. I'm hoping that this is what happens. So if you say you'll end the war, then you need to start denouncing, saying you want a ceasefire, denying money, stop sending shit to Israel so they can go and just wipe out a community of people. And one of the things that always irritates me is that I've had Jewish people that I've had to block after, because I was like, oh, if you saying this or whatever, I'm going to block you. I said, well, I'll do you one better, bitch. I'll block you my damn self. Because what you're not going to do, instead of being say, oh, because you've been to Israel a couple of times, that you know more than I do. And it's like, I don't need to go to a country to know what the fuck's going on over there. I can do my research. I can look it up on the news, and then, well, not the news, because I don't trust mainstream media. I go on to a lot of other places, like I watch Roland Martin. I don't watch the Young Turks anymore because they've become Red State Light. They've become Fox Light in a way that a lot of them say certain things. And then there's the ZETEO. I don't know how to say it, the name, but he's become, because he used to be on damn, I forgot the guy's name. He used to be on MSNBC or CNN, one of them damn channels, and then he was talking out against the whole ceasefire, genocide, all the other stuff, and they fired him. So he went and started his own thing, which was what a lot of people need to do: go independent, so that way you're not controlled by the media. And he's out here saying, like, he was speaking to a couple of people. And one thing that irritated me, John Fetterman, the one time his ass actually didn't show up looking like a sloppy ass slub was when he was at that meeting with Netanyahu. They said he actually dressed for the occasion. So you want to look like a sloppy old, couch potato any other time pushing policies. But because Netanyahu's in the room, like, you really wanted to lick his taint even further than you did the other day by, dressing up. So it is possible you could dress up. I don't know why they decided to make this, oh, come as you are. This is not, no, because I didn't even like that in church. I used to hate that whole thing where they would be like, come as you are. So people come in with fucking flip-flops and coochie cutter shorts and a dirty ass t-shirt. No, you need to come dressed up for the occasion. There's certain places that there's a certain decorum of you should look a certain way when you're going into certain places. He is garbage, and I agree that even though he's garbage, and you want to know something, politics isn't black and white. Politics is a dirty game. I don't live in hypotheticals. I don't live in woulda, coulda, shouldas. I don't live with imaginary politicians who we want to run, who have no chance in hell of winning. So whoever we get up in there, we we just have to know, like, if we're coming to the table with certain things, this would be the same thing I would have said, like, with a lot of these young people. Instead of y'all getting mad, oh, I'm not voting. Y'all should have been doing, like, y'all need to create a movement similar to a lot of these black, organizations who have been putting their money and their resources and influences behind Kamala Harris. Maybe Gen Z needs to come up with their organization where it's just like, you know what, we're a progressive organization that y'all just create, develop, or whatever, and say, like, you know what, these are the things that, if you want our vote, these are what we're coming to at the table. You have like a negotiation. Pretend like it's The Apprentice, except it's for real. Where y'all was over there doing fake business over there with Trump, but actually come to the table and negotiate and come up with an idea or something that you can, be like, well, if you want our vote, these are our terms. So maybe that's something that needs to happen. I'm just throwing it out there. I don't have all the answers, but it's just an idea. So it's that people love glorifying poverty, talking about money can't buy health when it comes to Celine's health issues, but her wealth of access to excellent healthcare is literally helping her recover. True. But it also seems like even with all the money and resources that she has for healthcare, she's still dealing with a lot of issues and a lot of pain. Maybe Celine need to smoke some weed. Maybe that's what it is. Since probably doing the national anthem for France. Yeah. Oh, say, can you see? Bonjour, bonjour, bonjour. And start that mess in advance, not just 8 months before an election. Absolutely. And that's what I was saying too. It's like, why are we waiting until now to all of a sudden come out and say stuff? This stuff should have been said in the beginning. It's just like when you had those idiots over in Wisconsin talking about that she's not trustworthy and that she's been keeping um his Biden's health away from. I'm like, that's not up to her to decide if she's gonna spill Biden's personal business. That's up to him that he wants to come out and tell people whatever his cognitive issues are, and the fact that he's old and frail and overcoming, COVID or whatever the case is. Why'd you get mad at her? But it's typical. Y'all want to blame women, particularly women of color. If somebody said, the sky was green when it's fucking blue, actually, you'll be like, oh, it's the woke people. It's them over there. It's like, shut up. I do agree. They do need to enter politics. You could be 18 and be a member of the House of Representatives. And that's why I said too, instead of sitting over here folding your arms with an attitude and sulking, that don't get shit done. Sorry, sulking and whining and bitching and moaning and all and being like, well, I want Jill Stein. Well, guess what? She ain't getting in. It is what it is. And neither is Robert F. Kennedy. That's not who's on the docket. Maybe it needs to come to a place where it's just like, yeah, if Gen Z is upset so much and wants and don't get me wrong, I am with everybody whoever's with them in regards to the whole, I want a ceasefire. I don't like the fact that, our money and my taxpaying dollars is being used for some other people's agenda to go and kill a bunch of people. And what irritates me is the fact that they go, well, if you spent 5 minutes in Palestine or Gaza, whatever, they would kill you for being a homosexual. I'm like, so you don't think there's LGBTQ elemental people over in Palestine either? You think that everybody that y'all killing all the heterosexuals, y'all killing all straight people, that there aren't queer people in all different situations that have to deal with homophobia in their countries where they're stoned or hung or thrown off buildings, whatever the case is, due to their whatever their country's belief is and the laws and things, which is why a lot of them leave their country to come here to seek asylum. I told you I knew somebody that was a roommate of mine that was in Egypt, that lived in Egypt, and there was like some type of scheme that the police pull where they go and try to set up meetings with people on Grindr, and when they do that, they either unalive you, they extort you for money, and so it's one of those things. And I think he said at that point that he was going to meet up with somebody. He got a gut feeling. He already had parents that were okay with him being gay, so it wasn't an issue. But he was like, he had to leave Egypt and seek asylum in America because of this whole extortion thing. So, um, it's crazy out here. So I understand it's called having empathy. That's what it's called. It's not about, oh, well, so you think because, and then use it as an excuse. I'm not allowed to have empathy for people, especially kids who are just, they don't know and understand about all that other stuff unless, it's taught to them because hate is taught. Oh yeah, she did. Her parents did. I forgot that she had, a bunch of kids. They said when she was born, 3 siblings left the house, married, etc. Remember that. My generation is more talk than action, to be honest. We call people out for eating at Starbucks, but we won't stop buying them. Child, I'm glad you said it, because I said the same fucking thing. There was like people, because I remember there was people, I literally had this conversation the other day, that there was somebody that was like, well, you should stop eating Starbucks because they're endorsing the RNC. So I said, so we all giving our phones back? Because 9 times out of 10, more people use iPhones than they do a damn Android. So y'all switching to Android? Y'all switching to Cricket phones? Y'all getting y'all an Obama phone? Y'all not doing that. So I feel like if we really did the homework and looked at the laundry list of corporations that support things that we don't agree with, we'd probably have to go back to doing smoke signals or carving our shit on a damn rock, because we're gonna have to, like, what is it? So I don't understand. So I'm like, when people complain and say, "Oh, I just pay it no damn mind." I'm like, you know what? I'm with y'all, but it's like, yeah, it makes us look like a hypocrite. It's like, oh, if you got to stop eating at this place, you got to stop supporting this, you got to stop supporting that. So I guess we're gonna, and quiet as it's kept, Gen Z, y'all don't know shit about a time before the internet. Y'all really don't. Y'all really don't know and y'all would not be able to handle going back to the simplicity of the way the world was pre-internet. I grew up in a time where it was we had to literally get up off our ass if we wanted to watch another damn channel and flip the damn channel. And then don't even get me started on the aluminum foil on the damn antenna. Or sometimes we used to use a metal hanger. So yeah, I'm taking it back. Um, so yeah, there was that, or VCRs, or things of that nature. So all these people complaining, y'all not ready to go back to a time pre-internet, because then we have to get rid of a lot of stuff. Then Miss Pickle says, and all these people who are so high and mighty about the issue, but are still staying on indigenous colonized land, and absolutely. Don't remind me of smacking the TV, because I remember I had to do a couple of times too. Yeah, exactly. And it's like, I was like, so y'all all gonna pack up and leave the country? Because y'all was, but I was born here. But I'm like, if you knew the true history of America, that it was colonized and stolen by the Spaniards and the Brits and all that stuff. I don't need to give y'all the whole history lesson. But indigenous people had their whole world pillaged and colonized, and then they were genocided. So if we going through all of that, we ain't gonna have shit. The Pop Theory podcast canceled Katy Perry because of Dr. Luke. Great canceled Nicki Minaj, Britney, etc. Without Dr. Luke, gay bars have no music. Do people still play Dr. Luke's music in the clubs? To be honest, I've been in a club in so long, I don't know what the hell they playing up in there. Or I have been in the club, except I just be too drunk to know what the hell they. It's like I don't even remember what music they be playing up in there, because I just be too damn out of it from the alcohol and stuff. But anyway, okay, so let's move on. Let's talk about Hannaford. Well, her husband, estranged husband, who apparently is going through it. He's just eating his pain away. So it says, while Hannaford Lopez is looking ahead, her estranged husband is channeling his summertime sadness. I just had to go and incorporate a Lana Del Rey reference in the damn show. But hold on while I pull up this picture. Why he always looks sad? I know he be laying pipe, because I know look, if you seen Gone Girl, you already know Ben Affleck is packing. But anyway, this is what the people say over at Radar Online, and y'all was shady for this damn article. They said brooding Ben Affleck is eating his feelings away amid his split with Jennifer Lopez, and the junk food junkie is using his sadness as an excuse to binge big time. The formerly buff Batman, 51, is said to be feasting on fast food and huffing high-calorie treats while holed up in his lavish Brentwood bachelor pad. This is what Radar Online can reveal. One insider even spilled he'll have as many as 5 pizzas delivered at one time. Ben has a sweet tooth, and he's satisfying with brownies. He's satisfying with brownies and chocolate chip cookies and sweet coffee drinks topped with whipped cream. Well, we already know his addiction to Dunkin' Donuts. It's doubtful he's had. I can't. It said it's doubtful he's had a vegetable in weeks. Clearly, it's beginning to catch up to him. Other sources claim the flabby filmmaker breathed a major sigh of relief when he first spent time away from his fitness fanatic J-Lo, 55, who demanded the recovering boozer follow a healthy diet and adhere to strict gym regimen. A second insider Jennifer is in the best shape of her life and has one of the most envied bodies in Hollywood. She has a punishing workout ethic that's admirable from afar, but for Ben, it was torture. She pushed Ben out of bed at 5 a.m. to hit the gym with her every day. He didn't really have a say in the matter. Now Ben doesn't have to do a thing. He can sleep in and eat whatever he wants. He's king at his own castle again, and he's making up for lost time. If he has a craving for chicken wings and pizza, he indulges it. He knows the delivery guys on a first name basis now. The insider added, when Ben's first marriage to Jennifer Garner, well, I'm sorry, we can't call her Jennifer. Jennifer's the other Jennifer. So it said, when his first marriage to Jennifer Garner fell apart, he consoled himself by picking out on junk food and packed on considerable weight. Now, history seems to be repeating itself. Now, news that Affleck is eating away his sorrows comes as sources say the Argo actor was afraid to take off his wedding ring over the fears Lopez might destroy him in a likely divorce war. Although he's never expected Jennifer to embrace his decision to leave, an insider admitted Affleck is freaked out by how hard it is for her to let go, and he's living in fear of how far she'll take it. The source said she's insisted they wear the rings. Then she's had a fit over him moving his stuff out. No wonder he's a wreck. So they're saying the fairy tale A-list couple has been living apart, as you know, since May, and then he rented the house and all this stuff. But here's the thing: I don't know if he's still filming The Accountant too. I would think he would have to be in tip-top shape for that. And also, how do they even know how much he's ordering or whatever the case is, unless the delivery people that he knows on a first name basis, as they're saying, have been spilling the tea to the tabloids. But I do see like there's this narrative that Jennifer has been putting out there where she's like trying to live her best life. Like I just saw a recent post on her Instagram where she was, having a late birthday night vocal session with her vocal coach, Stevie Mackey. She was definitely, Stevie Mackey definitely has a great voice. And she's been trying to keep up with him vocally. And, Jennifer does, but Jennifer does. It was cute or whatever. But, overall, there's one of the things I want to show y'all because you know what? It just seems like she's trying to put out this whole different narrative while he's out here, looking all sad and depressed and moping, whatever. I mean, look, if Jennifer was doing all the things that you claim, you should be out here happy and dipping in, doing it, living your best life, and probably channeling your inner Mauricio Umansky and finding you a younger piece of trade to be hunching and doing the damn thing. But it just seems like maybe Ben is just somebody who's just miserable, period. Maybe that's just his energy. He just very much like, you know what? Like I've said many a times, he's an amazing actor. He's an amazing filmmaker. He's an amazing screenwriter. But as far as like as a personal type of guy or whatever, maybe it's just that he's better off alone. There's some people that just aren't equipped or meant to be in a relationship or to be married. There's some people that are just loners. And if you want to get off, I'm sure there's plenty of women out there that be willing to throw their coochie in his face and he could just tear it up a couple of times and then send them on their merry way. Give them the 4 famous words. Your Uber's outside. Your Uber is outside. I wasn't doing your Ubers outside. That would be 3. So, just be like that type of guy. Just be a forever bachelor. There's some people, like I said, that aren't meant to be, in a committed relationship for the rest of their life or being with somebody for a long period of time. It just seems like he just better off alone. But I have seen like, wow, the media all of a sudden, because remember, they was all on Jennifer at one point. It was always, she's the mean one. She's nasty to the fans. She's the Indian giver. Even though, shout out to my indigenous people. I don't mean to use that word because apparently it's derogatory to say Indian giver. But, he would give big tips and she would take some of the tip back and be like, oh, you getting $10. You're not getting that 100. It's like, bitch, first of all, if that's my money and I'm giving them $100 tip, don't you dare stick your sticky little nasty fingers on my cointadas that I put down for them people to have. So, while Ben is out here all moping and all this other stuff, and, that has been the narrative in regards of that whole story, because it seems like the media's stingrays have shifted a little bit. Now it seems like they're going after Ben. And Hannaford has put out this whole image. And, she's happy. She's living her best life. She's always ready for a photo op, you see. There was a video that I saw, and I'm going to have the sound off when I go to it, because I don't know if there's like music background, copyright, all that stuff. They showed footage of her Bridgerton themed 55th birthday party, which I was like, okay, it's cute. We saw her in the outfit. So please hold us. We scroll over to that. So yeah, this is like the whole, her on her Instagram giving us an overall look at, the whole Bridgerton theme. Why does he look fake? The outfit was outfitting though. She looked good. So shout out to Hannaford. So who that? Oh wait, hold on now. She was singing. We should have went back on that. It was Hannaford was singing. But anyway, it just seemed that so basically, so there you have it. And there's that. But look, I say at this point, what y'all need to do is, because what y'all gonna do? Stay married for the rest of y'all lives? If y'all don't have a prenup, y'all gonna do something similar to Kyle and Mauricio, where y'all basically just gonna keep the marriage, stay married because y'all don't want to deal with dividing up whatever money. I don't know if they have a prenup. I don't know what's in their clause for their marriage and how long they got to stay together, whatever the case is. But here's the thing: this is the bed y'all decided to lay in. Decided to make. Now you have to lie in it. You have to deal with the repercussions. So if you're worrying about her trying to retaliate or do whatever, maybe we should have had a clause in y'all contract that should y'all split up, that you can't say nothing nasty or negative about her, and vice versa. So, and here's the thing, you know what? Radar Online, y'all was so damn shady for saying that stuff about and talking about schlubby and all the derogatory words like y'all want to talk about. Look, if you want to sit out here and eat junk food and pig out, we all go through those moments. I remember when I've been in relationships or whatever, that's been something I've done, but I only eat away my feelings for like a couple of days, and then I'm back to, I don't know her. That's the way I be when it comes to those situations. So, and at the end of the day, you know what? He's worth millions. He can afford to have a trainer come in and get him in tip-top shape, especially if it's for a role in a movie. So y'all, these tabloids out here making a big deal about Ben's body and body shaming him and calling and making all these little comments or whatever the case is. He's got enough money where he could hire a trainer to get him in tip-top shape in no time. So I'm not that upset about it. I'm not worried about it. Let him eat his pizza and his junk food. But I do wonder if, like, you ordering 5 boxes of pizza, who's eating all that? Or maybe it's just that he don't want to, maybe he's not a cook. And then it's like, I have the boxes of pizza, but I just throw them in the fridge. And if I'm in the mood to eat pizza, and that's what I do sometimes. Like if I order a big box of pizza, but I only do one, because I could only eat like maybe tops, I could do like 3 slices, depending on the type of pizza. Like if it's Domino's, because they cut it up in little small squares, I could do maybe like half of that. But like eating a bunch of a full box of pizza, I can't. Like I did that one time and I got sick, so so I was like, I can't do that. But with me, I would be like, you know what? If I'm in the mood, all you gotta do is go in the box, take the slice of pizza out, throw it on a plate, stick it in the oven or the microwave, whatever. Easy peasy, good to go. So I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story? Do y'all think Ben is out here moping and eating away his feelings, and then y'all believe that Hannaford is out here living her best life? That's what she's trying to show us on social media. So I don't know. I do feel like she's a little sad in the whole thing. And I did hear also, I heard stories that people saying that, oh, her kids aren't around. I said, really? Because I've been hearing nothing, but I saw it in the video, not that one, because I didn't really see it in that one. But I've seen photos and things leading up, behind the scenes on her birthday, that Max and Emmy were there. And you do see her around with Emmy all the time. And I heard now, I believe Hannaford is on a road trip with the kids. So she's been spending a lot of time with her twins, and they've been doing stuff together. So I don't know. I don't be believing them stories when everybody's like, oh, she's not with the kids aren't around her. And also, trust and believe them kids is with her. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. And they said Ben is eating his feelings and ours. Okay, so he seems like he just wants to live in a regular house and lead a non-celebrity life. Well, look, I can't see Ben living in a regular house because he's a celebrity. He can't get no regular house. They'll make fun of him for that. So he'll just get regular according to Hollywood standards. But I feel like he's always been that. And if you're expecting someone like Ben Affleck, it's like that analogy he used, and I'm probably going to paraphrase it or mess it up, whatever. But it's like that phrase that he used. It's like you asking Jennifer Lopez to not be Jennifer Lopez is like, falling in love with a person who owns a bunch of boats and not expecting them to get in the water. So it makes sense. Like, you can't stop a person from being who they are. Like, you knew Jennifer Lopez was like this big glam diva type of person, and you're Mr. Regular Schmegular. And while in some spaces that works, like a Julia Roberts and a Danny Moder, where she's the big superstar and he's he's a cinematographer or whatever, while that works because the dynamics and y'all totally understand what your relationship is, and you don't have a problem with, Julie Roberts trying to take the lead, or the same thing with Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. If you are content and strong enough in your manness and your manhood that you don't mind that your girl is one of the biggest pop stars on the planet, and I'm just some football player who I heard he got into it with one of his teammates while because they're in football practice right now, then it's not going to work. And to me, it just seems like Ben and Jen, while maybe y'all energies, crash like the waves. Remember back in the old movies when it was like you knew they was fucking when the waves crashed? Well, maybe when y'all relationship is like that at first, but then it's just like, okay, well, all the other stuff that comes with that, what else do y'all have in common besides that the sex is good? Said J-Lo was never the same after she dodged those bullets in the club. Okay. I couldn't imagine being with someone as narcissistic as she is. Absolutely. But maybe Ben thought he could change her. Some people get in relationships with people and think, you know what? I always say that. It's like when your man's a cheater or has been notorious for cheating, some of these women be thinking they got the magic cootie cat that they can go in and change these men, and then they shock when they do it to them. It's the same thing with these, vice versa. Is that maybe Ben thought that he could change Jennifer into, making her more humble or whatever, and realized that he couldn't. They said the video just came out that. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that. I actually knew that yesterday. A friend of mine hit me up to tell me, because one of the things. Okay, first of all, he called me up to tell me, because he was like, "How'd you find out about the whole morphine story?" I was like, "It's all over the gay blogs, like Pink News, a bunch of them was talking about it." But he gave me details. He told me that morphine broke her jaw. So I don't think any of the blogs and everybody was talking about that, but he told me she has a broken jaw right now. So that's why she's like not in a place to want to be putting herself out there and wanting to talk and deal with the whole situation of being in public. So, and then how it was like a really bad pileup and stuff with the accident that happened out in LA. Because I told you my friend of mine was working DragCon, but he told me yesterday that Kamala Harris is going to be on RuPaul's Drag Race. And funny enough, RuPaul's Drag Race, that season was filmed last year. So it's funny how all of this is kind of like coming forth and manifesting. And you already know the gays is on board with Kamala Harris. The gays are on board. They already have like there was one article that I saw that Emil Wimbledon, I think who it was, that yeah, Emil Wimbledon, who I believe used to be the editor in chief, if I'm not mistaken, of Vibe magazine. So apparently, what's today? Oh, it's today actually. They're doing a Black, Gay, and Queer Men for Harris information and resources for navigating the 2024 election. It's today at 8 o'clock, and they said speakers include journalists, pollsters, political leaders, commentators, organizers, and celebrities. And I believe it's going to be, they said it's going to be on StreamYard. I thought it was going to be at an actual place. So they said you could register on StreamYard, and the StreamYard, they have the thing. I think I put it in my Instagram stories. So they said that Alfonso David, a civil rights lawyer and business executive, Emil Wimbledon, who's a journalist, professor and community organizer, and Rashad Robinson, civil rights leader, they're all going to be speaking on this whole situation. So, the gays are formating. I'm sure the white gays will be jumping on this too. It has been irritating me when people sit and say, well, you know, and I've seen a lot of black people say this in the comments when they talk about Kamala Harris. They're like, Kamala's not black. I'm like, who are you to determine who somebody is? I mean, who is and who isn't black? So I don't understand when, you know, when people go and say something so damn ignorant. Because it's like you don't get to determine how black somebody is, or that somebody's, oh yeah, they dark skin on the outside and they white on the inside. Because in the end of the day, when you got these Republicans out here using DEI like it's the new N word, um, they don't give a damn that she's half of this and half of that. They looking at an N word. At the end of the day, we all, if we ain't white like them and we don't think like them and behave like them, we are othered. And that's the way they see us. You know, when you have lack of education. Child, I was looking for this Tyler Perry thing because I was like, I need to get to the comments. So, you know, when we get to that, because that is the next topic that we're gonna get into. So, but yeah, one of the things, but I did put it as a not so blind item. I posted on my Facebook yesterday. I was just like, word on the street is a certain Democratic presidential nominee is going to be making an appearance on RuPaul's Drag Race finale. And of course, one person said Marianne Wilkinson. I was like, you an idiot. But it was like, I was like, yeah, it was obviously it's Kamala. So yeah, yeah, and then also, Lance Bass is going to be on there too. It said Michelle, Leland, Jamal, Cheyenne Jackson, and Grace Jones. It was like, damn, that was going to be an action-packed episode. Lance Bass is going to be on the episode also. And so I don't know if this means she's a guest judge for season 17 or All Stars 10 caption saying she stopped by the workroom. Yeah, because there's a photo of whatever of Kamala sitting on a couch with. There was one other person, I can't remember who it was, but they were sitting on the couch with Lance Bass. So I shared that in my Instagram story, the video with Kamala. I've been slowly unfriending all the gays who are saying I'm not. Oh yeah, once I start seeing, if I come across because I have so many people on my social media, if I come across any of that, yeah, they definitely getting blocked. So I really don't be seeing it the way y'all be seeing it. Because I got like over 3,000 followers and I have like 4,000, over 4,200 friends on my Facebook. There's a lot of people. But anyway, child, let's get into this mess and let's talk about Tired Perry calling out us highbrow Negroes for criticizing his films. So Tyler Perry apparently is not letting anyone tell him which stories matter, firing off a few shots at highbrow Negroes who think only certain black stories should be told. Now, prolific filmmaker and billionaire mogul Tired Perry is hearing all of y'all's comments about his films and his treatment of black women as characters in his stories. Well, caricatures, we should say, not characters, Chad. In his stories, and he is not playing around about his art. In an interview, because he did an interview with Keke Palmer on her Baby This Is Keke Palmer podcast, Perry talked about his humble beginnings of playing Medea on stage and becoming one of the most powerful black men in Hollywood. But when Palmer brought up the recent critiques about his film Divorce in the Black, Perry was frank and revealed a side of himself people don't usually see in his interviews. Well, that's what they say they haven't seen it in the interviews, but I have heard many a times over the years, you know, Tyler Perry has been for someone who gets upset whenever y'all talk shit about his damn films. But I don't think it's people talking mess about his movies. I just feel like people have legitimate concerns. And you know what? If we didn't care about the quality of content, especially when you're talking about black folks, you know, we wouldn't be all up in arms. Because, you know, we already talked about, what was it, last week? We talked about Divorce in the Black getting 0% on Rotten Tomatoes. I did a whole video on it. People responded to it. There was a lot of opinions in the comments. You know, I'm sure when I cut this clip up, I'm probably going to get even more opinions on said topic. And I welcome it because I love all the comments when people say good, bad, or indifferent. But for the most part, and it even came down to Corey Hardwick came out and spoke. I think Megan Good wound up saying something. What else you going to say? She need to check. Corey Hardwick came out and said something and was like him and Tyler are going to work on another project. But Lonnie Love, you know, also came out and spoke out and said the following. She said, I love that Tyler is paying black actors. Now, I wish he would. Wait, hold on. Let me see if I could actually pull that up for y'all. Oh, wait, no, because then I have to go through the whole thing. But anyway, I'll just read it. So she said, I love that Tyler is paying Black actors now. I wish he would hire Black writers and directors that have experience to help him with his movies. He could improve the movies and make them award worthy if he would stop trying to save money by doing the writing and directing himself. Now, he did speak out about it, and now this is the clip I'm going to show y'all, because shout out to the Neighborhood Talk for actually having this clip. And we'll play the clip, and then we'll come back and we'll talk. Please hold.
I love that you never allowed that criticism to stop you from being able to have your authentic voice as an artist, because it does get really difficult.
Yeah, but what? No. You got to drown all of that out, because if you let somebody talk you out of a place that God has put you in, you are going to find yourself in hell. I know for a fact that what I'm doing is exactly what I'm supposed to be doing, because for everyone who is a critic, I have thousands of used to be emails from people saying, this changed my life. Oh my God, you know me. Oh my God, you saw me. How did you know this about my life, my family? So that is what is important. We're talking a large portion of my fans who are disenfranchised, who cannot get in the Volvo and go to therapy on the weekend. So you've got this highbrow Negro who is all up in the air with his nose up looking at everything. And then you got people like where I come from and me who are grinders, who really know what it's like, whose mothers and were caregivers for white kids and were maids and housekeepers and all of these beauticians. That don't discount these people and say that their story don't matter. Who are you to be able to say which Black story is important or should be told? Get out of here with that bullshit.
Yeah, so he basically told us to get out of here with that BS. All of a sudden, he turned into Pastor Perry and was out here sitting here talking all this mess. Now, here's the thing. I had to cackle because this Negro said, you want to talk about highbrow, motherfucker. Since you want to talk about that, let's talk about you, Miss Mamas. So you gonna sit up here and talk about highbrow Negroes? If a highbrow Negro basically means that we want other stories outside of Black trauma that you have exploited for 20 years of your career as a cinematic filmmaker, then I guess I'm highbrow. Nobody is basically saying that we don't want Black stories regarding, surrounding Black women being told. We welcome. Oh, I'll say for me. I'll speak for me. I'm not going to speak for everybody else. I'm here for Black stories. I want to see Black stories. I don't want to see I'm tired of Black trauma being exploited for $1. I don't like slave movies. I don't watch some shits because it seems like that's the only things I want to put out here. It's either Black people are slaves, women are getting their ass beat, women are being sexually assaulted, women are always seen as the weaker gender, and then all of a sudden they finally find the time a man come in their life, or they go to the church and they get this epiphany, and then it's like, oh yeah, I finally got the strength to lead that man. And it's like, it's always the same beats with him. He does the same thing. It's like the definition of insanity. Do the same damn thing over and over and over again and expecting a different result. So what people are basically saying is that, for someone who is the most influential and powerful moguls in Black entertainment, is that what is so wrong with diversifying your portfolio? That's all they're saying. Expand on the thing. I get that you basically make Lifetime movies of the week for Black folk and put them out on Netflix and put them out on, Prime Video. Because here's the thing, if you were so highbrow, whatever the case was, if your shit was so high quality, why is it going straight to streaming? And don't forget and be like, well, his movies at least go #1 compared to what? Like, let's break down the numbers. We should talk about, like, you can't equate a movie in the theater to what's going on in streaming, because streaming services don't release numbers. They don't let us know exactly how many people have watched those films and for how long. Because I told y'all with some of the streaming services, what they do is they count. Like, I could sit and watch a movie 10 minutes. And I'm like, nah, I'm good. It wasn't a good movie. Or half of the film, whatever the case. If you don't finish it, they count it as a watch. So therefore, if you viewed it, it is considered added to the situation. Like, that's how they determine with the data on what becomes, the #1 movie, 2, 3, 4, 5, the whole count, how they whole count on the chart. Because ever since Netflix put that whole situation out, everybody's following that motto. If you look at all the way that they're streaming designs and all that stuff, that's what they do. And I feel like tonally, you continue to give the audience the same movie. This is the complaints that I've had from people who be in my comments and other people's comments and things of that nature. You do the same movie. Like, even with the Divorce in a Black Film, they were like, it was fine. It's not something I would watch again, but it was all right. And to me, if somebody kind of looks at your movies as, it was all right, nothing to brag home about, it was a one and done for me. Like, with me, when I love movies so much, I love to, like, revisit it every now and again. If it's just some movies, like, okay, it was just something there for me to watch. And to me, it's just like, I feel like you've insulted the audience that actually watches your stuff. When you go and say that the people who are complaining about your films are highbrow, then what do you really think about the people that actually watch your films? Because when he went and said that one time from that actress that had that horrible ass wig on that show in one of his movies, and was sitting to my, he don't care about like the wigs on those. That's not his top priority. It's like, but what is? Because when you make these movies and you could tell like the shots were rushed, the plot don't make no damn sense, that people are doing things that no regular human being would actually do. And I hate and when people criticize you on that, like, as a filmmaker, you're supposed to evolve. You're supposed to get better, not worse. And I hate also that I've seen people in the comments that will go, well, y'all wouldn't do that to the white people. Oh, y'all wouldn't complain to the white people the same way y'all come in Tyler Perry. That's a bunch of fucking bull. Because first of all, I criticize every damn body. Not just Tyler Perry. If your movie is shit, I do tell you if your movie is shit. How many times have I come on there speaking of the homosexuals? Let's bring a white one in here. I'm gonna lay on Tyler for a second. So, Ryan Murphy, how many times have I come on here and made comments about his stuff? Many a times. So for people to sit up in here and say that we don't do that to the white people, I'm sick and tired of people. I don't want to say hate, because hate is such a lazy word. I'm sick and tired of people always using race as an excuse, as a justification, or the fact that, oh yeah, he pays Taraji P. Henson and he pays all these people so much money, because Taraji came out and said the most money she ever made was from a Tyler Perry movie. And that's great. But of course he can afford to pay you that big check, because when you are the writer, the director, the cinematographer, the shot, person, the water carrier, the caterer, when you doing all the jobs, you ain't got to pay nobody else nothing. So of course he can afford to pay Taraji P. Henson her worth, unlike these other companies. And to me, there's nothing wrong with hiring other writers and directors and using your studio to create other genres like black horror, black comedies, black sci-fi, black action movies. Why do we have to wait on Universal and all these other places to create these things for us when you have the tools, you have the studio, and you have a lot of young up-and-coming black talent that look to Tyler Perry? Because, sir, you are not going to be the future. But at the same point, I mean, you're not going to be able to be on top forever. I should say that. But when you get to a certain place where you become the legacy act, and this is what I always say about singers and stuff as well. When you have climbed the mountain, you've hit the top of Kilimanjaro, and it comes a point like, okay, so what's next? When you get to that place where you're a veteran, where you're an OG, where you're the legacy part of the career, you have to look at the part of, okay, so now I'm at that point of mentorship. He should be mentoring the next generation of up-and-coming black talent that look to him to have what he has, and take them under his wing, mentor them, and give them the ability to do all the other things. That's why I like other black talent who really give us quality shit. Quinta Brunson, Ava DuVernay, who else? Will Packer. We have so many other talents and stuff out here that are doing the thing. And then you see so many people that definitely take, especially the gays, that take a page out of Tyler Perry's handbook, and you see how a lot of people have been influenced by what Tyler does, from the plays onto the movies. So that's what we're saying. It's just, we want diversity. We want not diversity as in like, different types of characters. Well, maybe that is what I'm saying. But you know how people use the whole diversity thing. But I'm talking about diversity in regards of your genre of filmmaking and the things that you put in. So let's go to the comments. So some people said he's a black Lifetime / Hallmark. Let that be his audience. He has his niche and it works for him. Another person put Tyler appeals to a certain crowd. That's okay. He found his niche years ago. People gonna complain, but he's still gonna have his support. Another person said, I may complain, but I watch every movie faithfully. Another person put, I mean, Tyler staying in his lane. Some people need to take notes. No, I don't agree with that. Why should people just stay in the lane and just keep doing that? The fact of the matter is, the reason why people complain is because they tired of being in the same lane. They sound like you're not giving nothing new and fresh to the lane that you've been staying in, to the rivers and the lakes that you used to. You're not giving nothing different. And not every black family is like what he's putting on the screen. But you know what they always say in the industry, right? Would you know? And you know what? Art is subjective. There's another person said, I understand what he's saying, but also there's nothing wrong with pivoting. It's to the point where he's making movies and people watch because his name is on it, but it has no replay value. People like Beyonce knows when to add to her team. There's nothing wrong with listening to your audience. We care about Tyler and don't want his brand tarnished. The truth is he needs to consider adding other writers to the team because plots are not well developed. The storylines are redundant. Do something fresh and new. That's all. And that's basically the point that I've been trying to make, and I hope I was making it. But you know me, where I could be a little, extra with the way I say shit sometimes. But that's basically what I was saying is that you know what? If I didn't care, I wouldn't be saying this stuff. Like I don't want to see people fail. I want people to be able to succeed, and those people who are in positions of power, you should be able to develop and have all the things that you do and to make it bigger and better. But if you're not willing to evolve your stuff, then you know what? The only way I feel like Tyler is going to learn is when he starts to see his cachet diminish. When he realizes that a lot of that fan base is tired of the same old, then he'll switch it up because, money talks. Another person put, we tired of the low vibrational movies. We haven't seen any growth in his work. I guess his goal is to make money and not black art. But that's always the case with a lot of artists. I mean, a lot of people. And here's the thing, like I said, if you don't like the movies, don't watch. I don't. It's like a lot of times I don't watch the movies. I think what really irked me in this conversation is just the way that he just came out. And I get it. Like a lot of times people don't want to have to. People gonna have to come out and defend their work. They don't want to have people coming out being nasty and rude and negative. It's like I don't think people were being nasty about it. People were just being critical of his work. But Miss Mamas was in her feelings. But Shell, let me read this one because this shit was everything. This was the read of all reads. And I was like, I had to put it up here. Shout out to Malawi over at the Twitter, who said the following. Let me put it up here for y'all to see because this was the ultimate cackle. They said, unironically, his best work would be a true biopic of his life, a complicated love story of a young black queer boy interested in the arts, becoming an anti-hero to the black community by way of misogyny, drag, and capitalism to fill the void of love he didn't get from the church. Now I'm going to leave it right there. So I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story? Do you think that Tyler Perry has a valid point in regards to this stuff? Or do y'all agree that, you know what, maybe it is time for Tyler to bring some fresh meat into, the situation and evolve his empire? Because my thing is this, when people get tired of the thing, it's like, okay, when you leave this earth, what do you want your legacy to be? And I don't care if it's like you name your studio after Cicely Tyson and Whoopi Goldberg and Harry Belafonte and all the legends. That's cute or whatever. And it's cute that you gave, Taraji a big old check and a bunch of other prominent black actors that you would, help them out and you've done all the things. We love you for that. But we're just saying that your art just needs a little jolt, a little gentrification. So, whatever y'all whatever y'all think. Whatever you think, whatever y'all think of this story, let me know in the comments down below. Okay, so speaking of comments, we got a lot of them. I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, has his films changed people's lives? And for you to say, was another thing that bothered me too, and I didn't say that in the thing. The fact that, oh well, he had like people can't afford therapy. Look, don't get me wrong. I know therapy is expensive, but um, people not out here just like full on in the slums poor. Like what? Like sometimes I be wondering, like, what world does Tyler live in? That's what I want to know. Because you seem like you live in, like, your mind is stuck in like the time and when you were a kid, and you think the world's still like that. Like, don't get me wrong, there's still people in poverty, but not like, I'm just thinking like he's thinking people living in shacks and shit in the middle of Louisiana. That's the way I be thinking. Like he be thinking like is that how you think your audience is? Like, how do you think they watch TV then? If that's how you think of them. Perry has no authority to talk about highbrow when he puts his actors in those hitting. Okay, that's what we're talking about, them horrible ass wigs. He's a good man, Savannah. That's my line. Shout out to Waiting to Exhale. That's my movie. It was like Tyler Perry movies are always second place in a race of one. Okay, that's why I named all them other people. It was like I don't watch Tyler Perry stuff, but I like Issa Rae. I like Quinta Brunson. Abbott Elementary is my show. It's my P Valley. That was another one I should have brought up. P Damn Valley. You know what? P Valley is a show that basically talks about Black trauma and all other stuff. But the show is well written. It's well acted. The wigs is everything. And the cheeks be cheeking. Shout out to all the booty I'll be seeing up in that show. But P Valley is my show. I actually met one of the writers of the show when he came to my job when I was working in the medical industry. And he came and got a COVID test. So he was spilling all kinds of tea about the show. So he was the one that wrote the episode about what was it, the rapper when he bottomed in that scene? He wrote that scene. I was like, Chad, that was my favorite. Because quiet as it's kept, I like watching some of I've encountered them as well. The ones that be looking like they're gonna beat your ass in the corner. They be the first ones that be throwing their legs up trying to get their booty ate. And they back blown out. So I forgot to add P Valley to it because P Valley is like something that pretty much is like, I guess, what Tyler in his mind be talking about when we talk about the Black trauma and all those things. But at least, we watching him, it's like really unpacking a lot of the trauma. Like, it's like we sit there and I just be like to me, when I watch P Valley, that's very much kitchen table conversation, or that's water cooler conversation. Because I remember when P Valley was on the last season, and I'd be talking to my coworkers, some of the Black women, a couple of the dudes, where we sit there and we talk about, like, we talking about power, like, y'all, we just break down all the stuff that happened in that episode. And I don't think we get that, or people do that when they watch a Tyler Perry movie. I think people hate watch it, or they go on to just mock certain scenes or whatever that's in there, especially how he write the gay characters. I'm like, Tyler, is that how you really feel about is that the internalized, situation that you be dealing with, and you exercise them demons through your gay characters? So yeah, if I really like a movie, I'll watch it every so often. Like the other night, I watched Halle Berry's Catwoman. You know what? Where the hell is that damn movie? Because I was looking for Catwoman and I could not find that on any of the streaming services. I went on Netflix, it wasn't there. I went on HBO Max, I couldn't find it because I was in the mood to watch Catwoman the other day with Halle Berry, and I couldn't find it. So say he should stop directing and writing. That's what I've been saying. That's what he needs to do. Is that he needs to bring in other talent. Like, to me, there's nothing wrong with, like, that's why I said, like, with me or whatever, I can write a bunch of stuff, but if I'm at a point where I was like, you know what? I wouldn't mind brainstorming with other people and having my own writer's room and a bunch of other people like, yeah, let's come up with an idea. I had this idea for a horror movie. This is where I'm at with it. Let's expand on what I've already come up with. What kind of ideas do you have? And then you bounce off each other. There's nothing wrong with being like, bringing other ideas into the room. I guess maybe he does like seeing Tyler Perry presents in lights or written, directed, or that whole laundry list. I think there's nothing wrong with bringing other people in. It's not showing a sign of weakness. Ron says, give other Black directors and writers a chance to shine. I wish, but I don't think he'll ever do it until, like, it comes down to the end of You know, he's desperate for some money, and he realized his cachet ain't as hot as it once was. I saw Anna Faris is willing to do. Yeah, I saw that too. I think I meant to bring that as a topic on the show, but I forgot. But yeah, I feel like if they do another scary movie, which they're talking about doing, and you bring Anna Faris and Regina Hall back, I really feel like y'all need to also bring the Wayans back, because no shade, the franchise ain't been good since Scary Movie 2. That was the last time, because I think that was the only 2 movies that the Wayans did. And Scary Movie, the first one and the second one, was funny as hell. So why not bring the Wayans back? I know like the Wayans have been doing movies here and there, and they have not been as funny as they used to be. So I don't know if, but for nostalgia's sake, I would say bring them back, since they're part of the legacy. Or if y'all really are going to be doing a scary movie, y'all really need to find some funny ass people to bring them in there. And y'all can't be at this point of like, you know, thinking Gen Z, oh, we can't say that because that's going to be offensive. I'm like, comedy's supposed to be offensive. It's like there's nothing politically correct about comedy. I do agree. Jordan Peele is good. Although, I go back and forth with Jordan Peele sometimes, because I feel like Jordan Peele is I feel like he's becoming like the Black M. Night Shyamalan. Like you have like a really good film, and then all your other films have kind of been okay, but they haven't really been like hot shit. Like Get Out is still a movie that I've seen twice. I cannot go back to watching that movie because it freaks me out. All the trauma and stuff that's in that film, I cannot watch that. That's not a repeat watching that I can see with that. That movie is just that's like one of those movies that is like, okay, it freaks me out when I watch it. So I can't with Get Out. I think it's because it's a lot of trauma when you hear, especially stories of like deep rooted into like white people colonization, black folks, how they're buck breaking, all that. I can't. So that movie was, that's like one of the best ones that he's come up with. Us started out good. I have a love hate relationship, but I feel like the last half of the film falls apart for me. Nope was good, but it's kind of boring. There were parts of the movie I liked. There was parts of the movies I was like, okay, whatever. It's just not like some great whatever film that I can really get behind. I don't know. I expected more from Nope, but I know he's got a new movie coming out, and I wanted him to direct Blade, but I don't think that's happening. So he's not wanting to pay money because they want millions because he's a billionaire. So he's into cutting corners. Absolutely. And you want to know something? When you're into cutting corners and being lazy and trying to find a way out of like really, you know, giving quality stuff, it shows in your work. And I think that's where all the overall criticism is coming from. So it just goes to show that with the criticisms, Tyler Perry just completely missed the point of what people were trying to make about his stuff. I didn't even bother seeing that. First of all, I remember back in the day when I watched his also like, look, I like Diary of a Mad Black Woman. I'm not going to sit up in here and just completely go in on Tyler Perry. A couple of his earlier stuff was really good, and I liked the character of Medea in the beginning. Now she's annoying. And so Tyler Perry has always been a little boring. It's always annoyed me how he put his name in front of every show he makes, even a Nicola, because he's greedy. And to me, it's just like, and that's why I feel like with this whole thing with him and Keke Palmer, it came from a place of um self-deflecting and then also a place of ego. That's the way I was feeling about that. Absolutely expecting a different result. He only does small town films. I'm like, I live in small towns. That's fictional bull-ish to think they majority run that even in the South. I always add my name when I do a remix because I want people to know I did it, but people can tell his style of filmmaking stories by now. It's he probably has yes people around him. Depending on how many. And I agree with this. Like, in what world is a movie a supplement for therapy? I feel like yeah, because I don't use movies as a form of therapy. If I watch a movie, I was like, oh, I get where they were coming from, and it makes you like think about whatever traumatic situation they're unpacking it in that sort of way. But I don't look at movies as a form of therapy. Yeah, of course he does have. Oh, I have not seen this in real life. Oh my God. Don't not only that, but I heard she made like a little cocaine reference in the show too. Cause she was talking about like, I live in LA and it's how hippie and stuff and how I deal with things. I do a lot of cocaine or whatever case. I saw that clip, but no, I have not watched this in real life yet. Um, when did it come out? Oh yeah, it came out Tuesday or something or another, right? Or yesterday. I don't know. I told you I was busy with the Escape and SWV tour, so I didn't really get a chance to do much of anything yesterday. It was like a friend of mine called me, we were talking, and then we were talking about the whole Kamala thing. Then it was like I looked at the time, I was like, I gotta get up out of here, I gotta go run. I ran to the gym, worked out, and then I went straight to work from there. So I really didn't have time to watch anything. And then when I got home yesterday, oh, I forgot to mention this. So yesterday, as soon as I got home, I was like, "Do I want to work on some articles?" I didn't because I was tired, and I wasn't really in the mood to work on anything. I was like, "I've been working all day. I've been dealing with a lot of people and a lot of energy, so I'm like, I need a minute." So I got home and I went to Netflix and Dirty Pop, the 3-part documentary about Lou Pearlman and the whole situation with NSYNC and the Backstreet Boys came out. So that's what I was watching. I watched the first 2 episodes and I watched the third one. But yeah, that's what I was watching last night. It was actually pretty good, but it felt like it was giving me nothing different than what I had learned from the Lance Bass docuseries or documentary. So that's what I was watching. And the fact that how Lou was ripping them off, and they felt like, oh, well, we was out there doing all the work, but Lou was like, but yeah, I was having y'all on private planes, and I had y'all put up in an amazing house, and I was giving y'all everything. I guess they didn't realize that, you know what, with me giving you this whole lavish life of you thinking that, you know what, you play your cards right, you work hard, you can have access to all of the stuff that I have. They felt like, but you're not the 6th member of NSYNC. You're not the 6th member of the Backstreet Boys. So why are you taking like this huge cut? You could have gotten your manager fee, but why are you getting this extra cut that when you're not out here? We had to miss countless holidays because we were over in Germany making a name for ourselves. Because at the time when the NSYNC and them came out, and the Backstreet Boys, I should say, because NSYNC was created on the hush, while the Backstreet Boys was over in Europe making a name for themselves because they were huge in Germany. They weren't huge in America because at the time it was Snoop Dogg and gangsta rap, and we had grunge music. So we had Nirvana and Soundgarden and that whole thing. Nobody wasn't trying to hear no boy band shit. It wasn't until 1997 when the music landscape shifted and the Backstreet Boys were able to finally, after years of putting in work over in Europe, they were able to come to America and make a name of themselves. So they had them, and then they brought out, they interviewed a couple people. They interviewed AJ McLean and Howie from the Backstreet Boys. The only one I think I remember, if I'm not mistaken, that was interviewed for NSYNC was Chris Kirkpatrick because he put NSYNC together. Which I think a lot of people don't know that. And then from O-Town, they had what's the name? Eric Michael Estrada. So they basically and then they were basically talking about like the whole thing with making the band, because a lot of people think making the band is Diddy, but it was like, nope, it was Lou Pearlman. I told you, Diddy just a colonizer. He just take what other people did and just and then just rejudge it and make it his own thing. But yeah, if y'all get a chance, definitely check the docu-series, because it's 3 episodes on Netflix. To say if he recognizes people can't afford therapy, is he doing any anti-poverty activism to address this, or just taking it? You know what? That's a good idea. And I really wish that somebody like a Keke Palmer would have pushed back, because she a Virgo. We supposed to be inquisitive, but she a August Virgo. She ain't a September Virgo like me, because I'd have been up there asking the questions. But that is true. It's like if you're saying that your movies are there to be therapy for your fans, for the watchers, then do you have anti-poverty activism? Are you putting things in place where you can help the community that you make these movies for get therapy, or whatever the case is? I mean, I don't know how the whole therapy thing work with medical insurance, or how much you got to pay for therapy, but to just think like your fan base is just poor Like that's the way that just makes me seem like that's the way he looks at them. Like, y'all ain't got money. So it said maybe he's like the way we're raised, where asking for help or assistance is a place of shame. That's how well, yeah, it could be a lot of that too. Maybe there is a shame with his, asking for help. But you're gonna see your art continue to diminish if you don't. No matter moments, I do, child. First of all, the one thing I'll say this. The one thing I like about Nope is Brandon Perea because he's cute, and I did like the little jellyfish alien type that keep morphing into like all these weird things. Speaking of which, Brandon Perea is actually in the new Twisters movie, along with Anthony Ramos and the rest of them, and that whole cast. I do want to see that movie. I don't know if I'm gonna get around to it, but I want to see it. Speaking of which, I was on a Prime Video and I actually went and bought the movie Kill. Remember I did the review on it? It's out already on streaming. I mean on the app when you could buy it. So I already bought it on Prime Video. It was like $25. I was like, I love that movie so much I was gonna buy it. They said Chris Kirkpatrick put NSYNC together. OMG, do tell. I love Kirkpatrick. His falsetto is the heart and soul of NSYNC. How you watching that and watching my show? He said, I'm watching Dirty Pop now. So yeah, it was a good documentary from what I've seen so far. I gotta watch part 3. Okay, so now let's go from one highbrow situation to another. Let's talk about Josh Hartnett, who was opening up about how his new film, that's correct, since we talk about movies, might as well go into this one. He's recalling one of his epic nights out at a Taylor Swift concert. Here's the thing I didn't know either. I didn't know he was married. I didn't know he had 4 kids. And he was about he took 2 of his kids, 2 out of the 4 children, because I think the other 2 are freaking infants, because he just secretly had another baby. I'm like, damn, Josh putting in that work. So he recently attended a Taylor Swift concert with 2 of his 4 children, and he later said his new role in the thriller Trap helped him understand the fervor of the pop star's diehard fans. The 46-year-old actor, who shares his kids with wife Tamsin Edgerton, stars in the upcoming M. Night Shyamalan film, since we did talk about M. Night before, in conversation, in which a father and his teenage daughter attend a concert and later discover they're involved in a dark and sinister event. Per the official logline, he called the experience of seeing one of Taylor's live shows in London bizarre after having shot the movie. The fervor that exists in those concerts, the way that everyone is so connected to the artist, I think Night really captures in this movie, Josh gushed about the renowned director. Speaking with Extra, he explained the parallel, saying, I did the movie before I went to one of the Swift concerts. I didn't really know what to expect, and it felt to me like these people have lost their absolute minds. The actor elaborated about shooting the thriller in which his character attends the fictional music artist Lady Raven, played by real-life singer Seleka. Well, I should probably also point out that the singer is actually M. Night Shyamalan's daughter. So he says, like all the kids were so obsessed, and they've been giving Lady Raven's music beforehand, and they became genuine fans, and they were all singing along and going crazy. It was exactly what I expected at the Taylor Swift concert, basically. Hartnett mostly keeps his family out of the spotlight, but said he attended Taylor's Eras tour with his daughters, who are 8 and 7 years old. Said, my girls are now sort of old enough to go to these things. And said, I want to give them exactly what they wanted, the whole experience. And we did, and we had such a wonderful time. He also recently noted in an interview with E! News that he would like to take on more age-appropriate acting roles for them. He's saying, if someone were to offer me a movie that my kids could watch, I would take it in an instant. He said, but because of the way Hollywood works now, they see me in a different light, and I don't know if I get those roles now. We'll see. Well, I guess probably because Josh Hartnett, even though he's 46, he still looks like a kid. See, shout out to my generation, because I feel like a lot of us, even though we are of a certain age, once you hit your 40s, like a lot of us look younger than we actually are. Sidebar, there was a recent thing that I saw with the Kardashians in the finale where they took some type of test where they said, like, if your genes or whatever actually matches with your actual age, that they take some type of test and they realize that you actually are 10 years younger than your actual age or whatever the case was. They said that Chloe was the one that came out the youngest, where she was 12 years younger than Kim Kim's test and Chris's test. She said she knew they was pissed because they thought they was younger. But Chloe had the young one. She said the fat one got as the youngest one out of all of y'all because they used to call Courtney fat. But anyway, back to this situation. So I'm someone who definitely wants to see this movie. I did have my trepidation because I'm like, oh my God, it's PG-13. It's supposed to be a thriller horror type situation. And I've always been a little worried about, okay, when y'all make things PG-13, this might not be good. But then again, just because something is rated R, PG-13 doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be an amazing movie. So I can't always think that a rating determines if a movie's going to be great or not. Because there's been bad R-rated movies and there's been bad PG-13 movies. So when this movie comes out next month, I'm definitely going to get me a ticket to go see it. I could definitely see like how it wasn't intentional that when he took on the role that he was going to go to a Taylor Swift concert, and I guess he could bring that kind of essence to playing this part of like, oh, I'm just a guy in the audience with my child, and we're enjoying this concert, and she's this Taylor Swift-esque type of pop act, but I got my little secret that I'm a serial killer, and I'm kind of breaking that, I'm using that as the inspiration for that. So I know like sometimes it'd be a happy accident. Like it's not intentional that you want to use the things like that in that way. But yeah, so I've been a Josh Hartnett fan since, when was the first time I seen him? Halloween H2O. And then, of course, Zeke in The Faculty. He's done so many other movies over the years. And I'm glad that Josh Hartnett is having a resurgence. I know some people was thinking like, oh, maybe his career dried up or whatever. Maybe he just stopped acting because he was taking time to raise his kids, which a lot of actors tend to do, the ones that aren't vain and have the ability to like, well, I can't afford to take off. Whatever the case is, but look, he took the time to spend raising them children, and now he's back. So I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this whole story? Whatever you think, let me know in the comments down below. Miss Pickles said Hartnett still looks. I used to have a big old crush on him, even when he had the messy hair. I still remember that line of LL Cool J, in Halloween 8. So he's like, and comb your hair. The time when they got busted. When him and his friend snuck out. I need to revisit that movie. I think usually around the time when Halloween comes, I always have this tendency of revisiting the Halloween films. So I'm probably going to do a whole binge thing. I might go back to the beginning, watch all the Halloweens, even the bad ones. Halloween Season of the Witch. I've grown fond of that film. I'll even watch the David Gordon Green trilogy. I know a lot of people have an issue with that, but I don't mind it. I even like Halloween Ends. I know that's controversial to say, but I like Halloween Ends. I have issues with Halloween Ends. I like the idea of introducing Corey Cunningham, but I feel like what they should have done was introduce him a little bit, maybe in a cameo scene. It was similar. Remember in like the first movie when we had that tracking shot scene of Michael when he's like, he bumps into the little kids and then he goes in that person's backyard and he hammers the woman in the house that looks like Miss Colbrit's in the outfit. And then he comes out the front and then he goes into then he comes across the black couple that's dressed as like a doctor and a nurse. And we see them just for a brief period in Halloween, but we see their story expand in Halloween Kills. That's what he should have did with Corey Cunningham. If you would have introduced people a little bit to him in a prior film, I feel like people wouldn't have been that hard on the whole Corey Cunningham story. It would have probably worked down the road. And I like the whole idea of the way they introduced, but I just felt like the problem with Lori, she felt like she was tacked on the last minute. It felt like it was an afterthought. You spend way too much time on the Corey Cunningham story. And then by the time it was like, oh my God, I forgot. It's a 2-hour horror movie. We forgot to bring Lori's stuff in here, and we got to come to this ultimate conclusion of her and Michael. Because remember, they had the showdown the first time, and then he killed her daughter in the second one. So it was like the showdown felt rushed, and the whole third act felt rushed. So I kind of wish that they would have expanded on that more. It would have been a good movie, but a lot of people were disappointed in it. So it said, I need a Hartnett and Keanu. Not Keanu Reeves. That's my Virgo twin because we born the same day, September 2nd. It said, oh yeah, I forgot about that. Where the Othello movie. Who was in that? Was that Omar Epps that played the lead? I'm gonna have to look that up. Because I do remember, oh yeah, Penny Dreadful. I did love that show when it was on. I was so mad when they canceled it. And so I think movie actors do TV shows when they become parents because it's one location and it's easier. And yeah, and then it's like you're only required to do like 8 to 10 episodes, 6, maybe 8. You could push it to 10 episodes, and then you're good for like the next 6 months. You probably take 3 months out of the year to film, and then you're good. Especially if Josh is not out here living like a lavish lifestyle like a Tom Cruise or a Jennifer Lopez. Well, you know what? That's what I was saying too. Like I feel like in the next chapter where they're gonna go with, so now that the David Gordon Green Halloween thing is wrapped up, and they're doing a Halloween TV series. I have heard that is coming. If we're gonna do that, I feel like a lot of people feel like they would love to see, like, create a whole new universe. If you're gonna do the story, why can't you do similar to what you did with the Halloween trilogy? And let's see where Jamie Lloyd's character has survived post Halloween 4. I'm not counting Halloween 5. I hated that movie. Halloween 4 was a good one. I love that movie. I feel like, to be honest, the first time I ever saw a Halloween movie was Halloween 4. And it was because my cousin, I remember we went to my Aunt Emily and Uncle Leon's house. I forget where they lived. I think it was like Maryland or something. And my cousin and them, they went to the video store. And my cousin came back with Halloween 4. And I sat there and watched it with them. And I think that was the first time I ever saw a Halloween movie. And after that, I feel like that's when I started getting into the Halloween franchise. So then I started watching I went to see the 1978 one and then all the other ones. But I do feel like maybe they should do a one where it's like, okay, so where do we meet with that one? And I say, if y'all ignore part 5, that means Rachel's not dead, because I don't feel like I hated the way they killed her off in that film. I'm like, first of all, she did all this surviving of Michael in part 4, only for her to get stabbed. What was it, with a pair of scissors in part 5? I'm like, child, she would not have died that easily. Like, come on. I need to do like one of those. I was thinking about doing like what other pundits do and do like my top horror movies of what people should watch, like a Halloween horror movie special. Maybe I'll think about getting into doing that as a special in October. Because, as much as I talk about horror movies on here every now and again in passing, I should probably do a little Halloween special. Yeah. I think I did watch OA, but I never stuck around and finished the show. That was another thing too. Like I got into OA, but I think I got pulled into another direction, was watching something else. Okay, so it was Mekhi Phifer and Julia Stiles. I was like, damn, I'm getting my black people mixed. It's been so long since I've seen Othello. I remember Lawrence Fishburne played Othello at one point. And said, yeah, Halloween 6 was awful. Is that the one with the thorn thingy and who was in that? Ant-Man. What the hell's his name? Paul Rudd. Paul Rudd was in that. He played Tommy Doyle as an adult. Speaking of which, I actually watched Ghostbusters Frozen Empire the other day. That's on Netflix. The movie was terrible. I was like, what was the point of this? And it felt like y'all were just trying to tack on the nostalgia. So it was like, oh, you felt like you couldn't sell this movie without bringing Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd and all of them back into the film. It just didn't feel, it just wasn't good. I was like, this plot is very weak. But y'all thought by tacking on the nostalgia factor by having Slimer and the Stay Puft Marshmallows and all that other stuff in there, that was going to be enough to save the movie. And I'm like, it wasn't a good film. I really wish they would have focused more on the kids and that whole dynamic. You don't have to like bring in the people from my generation when I was watching Ghostbusters as a kid as a way to bring the fandom and to make a whole lot of money at the box office. But anyway, let's move on. Let's talk about Chris Brown, who's being sued for a second time this week. This time by a security guard who was apparently injured while trying to break up that little brawl that went down at Chris Brown's recent concert. So they said that Chris Brown is facing a second lawsuit. Shout out to Rolling Stone for this. over an assault he and his entourage allegedly carried out backstage against 4 concertgoers in Fort Worth, Texas last weekend, with a security guard hired for the event now claiming that he also was injured trying to stop the violence. In the new suit filed in Harris County District Court on Wednesday and obtained by Rolling Stone, Frederick Overpeck, who said he was hired to lead backhouse security for Dickies Arena, claimed that he saw Brown throw the first punch at one of the 4 plaintiffs who first sued Brown on Monday. Overbeck tried to intervene, the suit alleges, but he was thrown out of the way. Like Monday's suit, the new complaint names Brown, several members of his entourage, and concert promoter Live Nation as defendants, with the listed causes of action being assault and battery, negligence/gross negligence, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. Overpeck is seeking $15 million in damages. This is an unprovoked attack by Chris Brown, not only directed They said this was an unprovoked attack, and Chris Brown not only directed it, he threw the first punch. Overpeck's attorney, Tony Busby, who was also representing the plaintiffs in the original complaint, tells Rolling Stone in a statement, "We will use the full force and weight of the court system to obtain justice here." Now, in the suit, Overpeck claims he saw one of the plaintiffs, Larry Parker, try to escape Brown and the crew by running down a stairwell trapped by a locked door. Per the complaint, Overpeck, a former correctional officer, described the incident as a prison yard beatdown. Plaintiff, attempting to do all he could to prevent the violence, got himself in between the victim, Parker, and most of the attackers, the suit reads, saying, "Unfortunately, the attackers, to include Brown, did not stop the violence. They instead continued to kick and stomp victim Parker, and in the process repeatedly kicked plaintiff as well, severely injuring him. Notably, one of Brown's crew launched his 300-plus pound body on top of Parker and the plaintiff." God damn, somebody, can you imagine 300 pounds being on top of you? And not with consent. Like, I understand in the bedroom, but yeah, when you trying to do like these sumo wrestlers, body slamming moves, child, lock all their asses up is what I say. They said before finally being drug off, a rep for Brown did not immediately respond to Rolling Stone's request for comment. Live Nation declined to comment on Wednesday. Eventually, Overpeck helped Parker escape through the locked door, per the lawsuit. Now, Overpeck was taken off work by his doctor, according to the complaint, with injuries including not only a severely injured hip, but also a diagnosed cracked vertebrae in his neck. The new lawsuit comes 2 days after Parker and 3 other plaintiffs, Joseph Lewis, Charles Bush, and DeMarcus Powell, filed a $50 million lawsuit over claims that they were all assaulted by Brown and entourage members Cinco Siege, Akinlolu, Child, can you imagine that? Let's just call him Hood Boss. That's his name. Can you imagine saying Omololu Akinlolu so many times? And Marquise Conway, aka Yella Beezy. The original suit detailed claims that the 4 plaintiffs were invited backstage at the Browns concert, and Bush later approached Brown to shake his hand and congratulate him on the show. Siege allegedly spoke out to remind Brown that he and Bush were beefing, and Brown then told his entourage to F him up. The alleged lawsuit or assault in Fort Worth is the latest in a long line of controversies and allegations of violence that Brown has faced, including pleading guilty to brutally beating his then-girlfriend, Rihanna. Since then, he has been accused of at least 20 more acts of misconduct, including sexual and physical assaults. So, like I said before, Brown will never learn. He's a leopard that's never going to change his spot. So he's got a 50 million plus 15. That's a $65 million lawsuit that he's going to have to fight in this whole situation. And if the bruises are there to prove that they were beat by Chris Brown and they all are in lockstep of what had happened, and based off of Chris Brown's reputation, the courts are inclined to believe what they're saying. So, Chris, I hope you got enough money in the bank, because it looked like you're going to be paying out big time. And it's sad that somebody who has so much talent can't seem to just get his mess together and just always wants to be caught up in goon shit. So I just don't get it. And the people that continue to defend him, that I don't understand either. So I started to say, what do you guys think of this story? Are y'all shocked by any of the stuff that's coming out regarding Chris Brown, the fact that he can't keep his hands to himself? And like I said before in the whole situation, I feel like this was all a setup, because it's like you invite these people backstage, the guy goes and shakes Chris's hand, one of his friends instigates the situation, says, yeah, y'all got a beef, remember that? Oh yeah, I don't forget ish, because that was what he said when we talked about it in the last video. And then commands his fan base or his goons, his entourage, whoever, who was doing anything he say for a check because he's employing them or giving them whatever, they go and put hands on these other people. And Chris, you too damn old to be out here fighting. So I started to say, let me know what y'all think of this story in the comments down below. Now, speaking of people who can't seem to stop always getting in beefs and fighting and things, let's get into Miss Cardi B, who apparently is being dragged on social media because she had called a barb, apparently, a homophobic slur. Now, please hold while I pull up this picture so that we can have that as like context in the background. So, Cardi B has again been forced to defend herself against accusations of being homophobic after she hit out at a Nicki Minaj fan who pretended to spit on her waxwork. The Up singer responded after a troll posted a video with her waxwork in which he said, they don't have you in a dark shadow for no reason, bitch. Nobody likes you, before pretending to spit on her wax likeness. I'm like, damn, y'all got a life? In the background, Nicki Minaj Starships can be heard playing as the man walks away. Now, I do want to pull this up, but I got to make sure that no sound is playing because I don't want y'all. Wait, hold on. I can't tell if it's like. Oh yeah, I can't even find the volume on this thing. So I don't want it to play and then it'd be like, oh, copyright infringement or whatever the case is. So oh wait, I see it. So hold on. Because now I'm gonna flip it over here. You had to put it on mute because it's sis, you all right? Why is it always a sissy? Why is it always a sissy being messy? It's like we just can't have nice things. It's always gotta be some old queen that gotta be out here acting a damn fool. And today it's just like, you know what? Whatever happened to the times of we could actually just like somebody and you could like more than one person. And it's like you don't even know Cardi B. And you recording yourself making the comments about nobody likes you B and pretending to spit on her wax figure and saying that's why they got you in the corner because you're not attractive, whatever the case is. Do you really think that you doing all that Nicki is going to invite you to the Pink Friday 2 tour and have you front row and then also invite you backstage? Do you think that she's going to give you, like, what are you expecting to gain from recording yourself doing that on social media? I genuinely want to know why some of the fans, or stands, I should say, just do this. What kind of rise do you get out of it? How does that help you in your day-to-day life? So Cardi B quote tweeted the post, captioning it, but when I say be a boy, the Be a Boy comment references a remark she made on Twitter Spaces earlier this month when a male fan speculated when she was pregnant, she insinuated he was gay, replying, be a boy, I don't give a F if you take dick more than me. Fans were quick to call out the rapper who came out as bisexual in 2018. I feel like she's sort of like heterosexual male version of, like, very much Katy Perry, I kissed a girl and I liked it. That's what I get, the type of bisexual that Cardi B is. I don't think she's a real bisexual. I think she's a bisexual as in, oh, I'll eat this girl's box to help my man get off. Like, I feel like that's the type of lesbian or bisexual that she is. I don't feel like she's a real bisexual girl. And that's just me and my opinion. And people want to say that I'm trying to do bi erasure. I don't feel like that's what that is. I don't do bi erasure. I do believe that bisexual exists. I do feel like that she's using it in the term in which I said it. Because there's people out here who do be using the whole, oh, I'm into girls thing but it's very much girls gone wild versus actually living the life of somebody who actually dates women and dates men. I know bisexuals, trust and believe, who have been in relationships with both. So I think I know the difference. But for her to come out here and just be using homophobic slurs and stuff, she has to realize the type of platform she's on. I understand, like, Cardi gets upset when people come at her in certain things that she's, whenever they say negative stuff about her. Like, for example, I pulled up this other thing with Ice Spice apparently did a song where she's dissing Cardi B. And she went on social media around 1:30 today and tweeted the following. She said, "These bitches can't see me in numbers or status. Y'all had way too much time to catch up. Can't see me in money, can't see me in real estate, fashion, can't see me in person either. I'm not in a rat race with none of you bitches, and I'm going to show you." Well, sis, as much as I love you and all this other stuff, I really wish you would show people in regards of the music. And she said, "These bitches have absolutely lost their mind. I'm getting all my lick backs on my album, though, on each and every one of you bitches." Somebody said in the comments, "Your album that's never coming out." That was a shade. That was shady. But it was like, look, you've been delaying that album so much, people don't believe you. But hold on, because I'm going to pull up this picture. So you were sitting there talking all this shit, Ice Spice, about Cardi, but you taking a picture with her. But now all of a sudden, y'all had a falling out. But it's funny enough, if she's doing this out of loyalty to Nicki Minaj, I think Nicki Minaj might have moved on from her. Because didn't Nicki recently come out about something regarding JT and that whole situation, and how she felt like JT was using her for clout in regards to trying to find out the secret sauce for her to become like where she, trying to get to where Nicki and them is. And it's like, I think she wasn't just talking about her. I think she was talking about Ice Spice and a bunch of the other girls. But y'all got to realize, ain't nobody's friend in this business. There's a lot of people that's out here doing the whole crabs in the barrel thing and just latch on to certain people because they low key want to know the secret to your success, so that way they can take those insane blueprints and follow it. How many people have I said that follow the Madonna blueprint in regards to their career? You don't see Madonna out here sulking. So I will say this. Going back to the other picture, so now that I had to show y'all the whole hypocrisy of Ice Spice, who apparently has been paying her wig maker for her wigs. That's another story that I saw that came out. But of course, people went on social media and dragged Cardi for her comment. One person put D Chanel had said you was being homophobic as well, SMH. I don't know who D Chanel is, but okay. And then, they said that earlier this year, taking the Instagram live, she weighed in on some hype around Netflix series Baby Reindeer. And we had that conversation where she was trying to say that some men only realize they are gay after experiencing male sexual assault. Well, I don't remember what I said in regards to that. I think I tried to give her the benefit of the doubt, and I was trying to come at it from a devil's advocate standpoint of me trying to see it from her point of view, but also was trying to explain down to us like, sis, not all of us have experienced abuse or trauma to come to terms with the fact that we like men. I've never been sexually abused. So, but I know I like penis when I was a kid. And I used to dare boys to take their penis out, and they would. But we was all the same age. I'm gonna say that. Like, I remember I was in 5th grade and boys used to always flash me they, genitals and all this other stuff. And I used to fool around with boys and all this other stuff my age. So this is not so there was no sexual assault that happened. Because you sitting there making it seem like homosexuality could be caused by sexual assault, which is an old stereotype. And then there was another allegation that came out where they said that she shared an anti-trans meme on Facebook, saying for the past year and a half, a former team member has been on the only one with access to the account. I guess trying to say that that somebody went and hacked her thing and posted it. I will show y'all this, but yeah, let me show y'all what it actually said, because I had to go to Pink News had the actual situation, which is a transphobic meme. So yeah, that's the whole situation that was there with that. This was the meme that was found offensive. Okay, so hold on. Now let me change it back to the other picture. So, she was also labeled a bully, while people said jokes like this are what gets trans women unalived. So she was trying to say that her page was hacked and somebody that she knows that I guess was close to her was using her stuff. So I don't know. I just like, girl, if you don't just take the time out of your day and just focus on your new album, getting it out there, and all this other stuff, and stop being so quick to come at people with slurs and all this stuff. Like, you're in a position where you can't be doing that. You can't be out here throwing homophobic slurs at people whenever they post something that pisses you off. And this is how a lot of these people, particularly the barbs, know how to get under your skin, because any little thing that people post on social media, they know you're going to respond, that they're going to get a rise out of you. I really wish she would learn to take the high road, but who knows? Maybe it's because she a damn Libra, and Libras don't know how to let shit go. So I'll say, listen, say, what do y'all think of this story? Whatever y'all think, let me know in the comments down below. Okay, so we have comments. He said people still defend R. Kelly, so I'm not surprised Chris has people stand up for him. Absolutely. I don't understand that either. And I do know a lot of people do defend R. Kelly and Chris Brown. There's people, particularly women, have spent $1,100, because his tour is called 1111 tour. They're for the meet and greets, they're going backstage and they're spending over $1,100 just for him to grab on their ass and touch them inappropriately and stuff. So these women are here for the shenanigans. So that's why Chris Brown continues to do what he does, because he feels like, you know what? The fans like what I do. People like what I do. But here's the thing. When you go around putting your hands on people and beating people up and doing all kinds of other craziness, they're going to lawyer up and they're going to take you for your money. So, okay. They said, meanwhile, Cardi got a whole lesbian sister and would be mad if somebody said to Hennessy, be a girl. Exactly. Or made any kind of homophobic slur against her. I said, Lady Gaga and Nicki, prime example. The girls can't see Cardi in fashion, but how much that mean when you got a... That is true. It's like, are you really a fashion girl, or are you just a mannequin that your stylist, basically dresses you? Like, to me, what I feel like is a collaborative effort, because I don't think it's a collaborative effort with her. I just think some people bring her ideas. She just like, oh, that's cute or whatever. Well, let's go with it. That she's just game for whatever they throw at her. But to me, I feel like a real fashion collaboration, I do feel like that's with Sarah Jessica Parker. I do feel like she collaborates with stylists and stuff in regards to the fashion, because she is a fashion girl. I also think the same thing with Zendaya. I do feel like her and La Roche, they have a connection, a whole situation that they put their outfits together and come up with these amazing fashion concepts. So I do feel like it's a collaborative effort with those two. With Cardi, I feel like, yeah, you just do whatever your stylist tells you. D is a reaction YouTuber. Okay. I don't know why, but I have a feeling Offset. Well, that seems to be the ongoing theme when it comes to people, because I remember when I was talking about the Kim Burrell story the other day, which I did cut up as a separate little thing, and I had a lot of people liking it in the comments, because I knew it's like, you talk about Kim Burrell, LGBTs in the church, I already know that's about to get that's going to get a rise out of a certain group of people. But what I had forgotten, because somebody pointed this out, it was like Kim Burrell be going in on the gays because apparently her ex-husband left her for a man. Which I had forgotten, because I heard that story too. But look, I think she get her box eaten by women. Regardless of how y'all feel, I do feel like Kim Burrell do get the box eaten by another woman. And Shirley Caesar, I think she another one that's a big old lesbian, allegedly. But I wouldn't be surprised, because Offset definitely give me like the type of dude, like I know so many Offsets, the types. Offset give me, he will stick his dick in anything, like any hole is a goal. He gives me that. That's it. And she takes out, and that I feel like is the main thing, like that Kim Burrell situation. It's like, you mad at be mad at your man. Don't be mad at us. Because it's not our fault that you so damn insecure as a woman that you don't think that you can do bad without Offset, because I told y'all I knew they was not broken up. I spotted they were together when I was at the Knicks game. I was working the damn Knicks game. They was at the playoffs. Them two was sitting across right on the floor. They had 4 seats. They was right across from me. And I was like, is that Cardi B? And then I see him with a scarf on his head, looking like he was about to go be somebody's nanny. You want to come live with me and be my maid? That's what he was giving with the damn scarf on his head. Very much Sophia from The Color Purple. They was gonna go work for the white woman and tend to them white kids. And so they sitting, because I guess Offset trying to be that fashion girl as well. And I'm sitting there looking at him like, child, you were giving Miss Jane Pittman teas, but this look, what are you doing? But anyway, if that's what your stylist put you in and you trying to sell it, be my guest. So I knew from the Knicks playoffs game that they were back together. It's like she says all this shit. And that's why I said at this point, sis, if you're going to keep taking back these low down dirty dogs, and that goes to any person, y'all want to keep laying down with these low down dirty dogs. We don't want to hear it when y'all bitch about them. And then we be there or as your friend windmilling on your side because that man did you dirty. And then 3 weeks later, he give a little yang yang. He slings some dick up in you because he reminded you that he got that good dick. And a lot of, what's the word? A lot of trash ass men, they do sling that pipe though. So, when you have that feeling, it's like, well, all the shit go out the window. But it says at a certain point, you got to kind of be like, grow up. But she in love. So whatever. From my understanding, her second album is all about murdering a bitch named Nicki, and Atlantic is asking her to do the album over. One track is Electric Chair for the Barbs. It's a gangster rap album. Well, look, she has a right, in my opinion, I feel like she has a right to go in on Nicki because the Barbs and Nicki have been throwing subs on her for so long, and she needs to have her Megan Thee Stallion diss track moment. But I don't want a whole album of it. It's the same thing like with Jennifer Lopez. You can write maybe 1 or 2 songs about your marriage, but sis, we don't want a whole album of you and Ben. Just like we don't want a whole album of you dissing Nicki. Like that's gonna be tired and late. Megan Thee Stallion didn't do a full album of Nicki Minaj. I think she mentioned her on 2 different songs. It said by issuing it, they're afraid of lawsuits by the Barb, Nicki, and label. So that's why. But to me, I don't understand. If you go out and you say stuff about a celebrity and you beefing with somebody, why can't you go in and say? I mean, I'm trying to remember back. When Remy Ma dissed Nicki, wasn't she saying some vicious stuff about her too? Like I'm trying to remember. I can't remember the diss track because it was so long ago. But I can't see Cardi actually doing the crazy fashion and artsy eyebrows that she's been trying to do recently. Everyone wants to be Gaga. Yeah, and say what you want about Lady Gaga, but Lady Gaga has been doing she's always been at the forefront of doing the crazy fashions. And so all these music artists want to be recognized for their fashion, but don't have the passion for it. They just rely on stylists and runway archives. And at least, I guess because Gaga has the house of Gaga, so she has a team of people that, they come up with stuff and are inspired by stuff and all that. It said all the people that put Offset's cheating on display makes me think the T-girl theory isn't realistic. He would be put on Front Street. Would he? Because I always feel like some people just be afraid to even admit that they man cheat on them with a trans girl. Like we see some women that get overly pissed off about the situation, but they will never openly admit that they man cheated on them with a trans girl. But I think sometimes when they feel like cis women go in on trans women, they think that that's what it is, that these trans women are running around trying to steal a men. But it's like the men we should be going in on the men. The men, the one that be out here want a little something extra. They like, tits at the top and dick at the bottom. It's the best of both worlds. For some. None of them would be spotted at a Goodwill or wearing something from a thrift store, and that's where all the good stuff is. That is so true, because I used to work, quiet as it's good. I mean, I don't think I told y'all this. I used to work at a Goodwill, like maybe 13, 14 years ago. I used to work at a Goodwill, and that's where I met Tiana Taylor, because when I was in Harlem, East Harlem, she was at the VIM next door. And this is before people really knew who she was. Like, she was popping in her neighborhood. Like people knew who Tiana Taylor was in the hood, but she wasn't like that big breakout star yet. I think she had just gotten signed to Kanye's label or something or another. And I remember that she came out the VIM buying sneakers, and the kids was out there wanting pictures and all that other stuff. Nuh-uh. He said, oh my MG, your wistful little face reminiscent about Trash Man Lane. Okay. Somebody caught it. But anyway, child, let's get into this mess. Since we're speaking about trash ass musicians, or can we even call her one when she a one hit wonder? So, bored and musically challenged has been Azealia Banks took to social media to apparently attack Charli XCX for publicly endorsing Democratic presidential hopeful and nominee Kamala Harris. So Charli branded the vice president as Brat after Joe Biden endorsed her for the Democratic presidential nominee and announced that he was dropping out of the race on Sunday, saying Kamala is Brat. This is what Charli XCX's post, which has since been viewed more than 46 million times, read. The pop star's tweet quickly went viral, sparking a fierce response from Charli's devoted fan base and catching the attention of Kamala, my name is Kamala, who's 59, who then got involved overhauling her campaign to include a reference to Charli's new album. Now, controversial musician Banks, who's 2 years older than Charli. So Azealia is 33 and Charli is 31. So she slammed Charli as uninformed and thirsty for attention in a blistering social media post. She wrote, Kamala is absolutely Brat, a drunk poser. She said, a drunk, a poser, bad taste in music, party girl, uncultured as hell, thinks we are not drawing the Merck correlations. Cliche in every aspect, needs a facelift. So are you mad because she's not looking at you for inspiration? Like, first of all, Azealia, how about dropping some music instead of spending so much time and energy into throwing shade at people? Now, we could sit and debate policies and stuff till the cows come home, but for her to be saying all of this is just ridiculous. So taking aim at British star Charli, she added the following. She said, and now all of a sudden, a non-citizen with tons of problems in her own country due to Brexit, something like 2 out of every 5 children don't have enough to eat, Parliament invaded by KGB anchor babies like Eve Jihad. I don't know what that is because I don't know UK politics. UK government debt high as hell, the BS phony ass Rwandan refugee deportation scheme, English people worried about being able to heat their homes this winter. Girl, you are uninformed and thirsty for attention. Please give it a effing break. You haven't a single clue of what life is like for women in America. You know nothing about Kamala Harris. Go ahead and pay the 48% California state tax on top of the 30% federal tax. Please be my guest. Don't too big for your, I think she meant to put B in there because she didn't. She said, don't too big for your britches, sis. American girls will absolutely run you out of town. Well, here's the thing. Charli did actually, I don't know if she still lives in the US, but she did for a while. She had a house out in California. I think she even recorded the Brat album in LA. So for you to sit up here and talk about taxes and this, that, and the other, I'm sure she's aware of how much taxes she's paying on the home she was staying at or at the end of the year when it's time to pay taxes. And bitch, how you sit up here and talk about California taxes when your ass is in Florida? So if you want to come out here and say some stuff, at least be on it with your own stuff before you go and try to throw shade at somebody else. Because I told you before that we saw Azealia, and a bunch of people sending me this in my messengers on Instagram and Facebook of Azealia Banks at a Trump rally. So I'm sitting there thinking, like, are you doing this for attention? Like, is this like a clout thing, like to keep you in the media that you were at a Trump rally? Like, what are you expecting Trump to do for you? The same thing he's probably going to do for Amber Rose and all these other shuckers and jivers that are tap dancing around that wannabe fascist and racist? He's not a wannabe racist. He is a racist because the evidence is out there. And JD Vance is way worse. And a lot of his beliefs say and do anything to win. So, you know, some people are calling it fake, phony. performative. I didn't know that Kamala was a drunk. Does she live with her that she would know that Kamala is an addict or someone who drinks a lot? Like, how are you making accusations about somebody you don't know personally? Now, I can understand if you want to talk about her policies and where she stands on certain things, like healthcare or Israel-Palestine, that whole conflict. But for you to get mad at another artist for endorsing her when she's not the only artist, why don't you go down a whole laundry list of people? But I guess because you feel like y'all are peers in some sort of way, and y'all music is similar in a lot of ways, where y'all play in the electronic dance music space. The only difference is that Charli is on album number 6, and I don't even know what album has Azealia even released an album. I know she released the EP and a bunch of other, mixtapes or whatever, but has she ever released a full length? I think she actually did. Broke with Expensive Taste. You came out with 1.5 damn albums while she's on her 6th, and you sitting out here trying to read this girl on who she's endorsing. So while Charli will be out here living her best life and going on this arena tour around the United States and beyond, I guess Azealia will still be in her house, bitching and moaning and tweeting out stuff on social media with the hopes that her ass don't get removed yet again. So I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story? Do Azealia need to go mind the business that pay her, or actually go find her a damn hobby? Because I'm tired of always, every time we on here and we talk, it's always her throwing shade at other artists that are doing better than her. So let me know what y'all think of this story in the comments down below. Now, I will also say this, that I do feel like some of the endorsements of the way people are doing some of the Brat stuff has been cringe, because I saw like these queens on Fire Island that I went to, what was it, like on the 4th? They were in these like green crop tops, green crop tops, with the word Kamala written in the Charli XCX font. And I guess they were trying to show like, yeah, it's Brat Summer and they're supporting Kamala Harris, and that's great. But I just feel like some people are taking the cringe out. Like, our democracy is at stake at this point. I'm really serious when it comes to stuff like where our future is going to be going in regards of, freedom of speech being affected, that it's going to be a full-on fascist regime that he's trying to turn this country in if he wins. And people want to come out here and make this like a moment that y'all can go viral on social media. Not everything is a viral moment. Not everything's a moment that y'all need to be playing around with shit just because y'all want to have stuff posted on social media and you want a lot of people talking about it. It's like, some of y'all just take the fun out of everything. Politics is nothing to be played with. So I really hope that people out here trying to take things serious and not just playing around for the sake of attention. So he said, meanwhile, she was caught in a trunk. Yeah, she was. Yeah, exactly. But I guess she did that on purpose. That's what I said. She does live here. She has been living in L.A. I read I think it was Rolling Stone. It was a Rolling Stone article where she was talking about she was living in L.A. She's been living in L.A. for years, working with a lot of the, people working with her team of people on Brat and other things. So, Azealia needs to get back to boiling cats to brew up some rent-paying spell. Not eviction leviosa. Shout out to Hermione Granger. I live for a Harry Potter reference, even though I can't stand J.K. Rowling transphobic ass. But I do live for a Harry Potter reference. Oh, she a Gemini? Yeah, her and Kanye need to go live together under the bridge like the trolls that they are. Azealia she definitely needs to go away. And it said, can't wait for Charli's diss track, Von Dutch 2.0. Don't even I say pay Azealia dust. She wants somebody to talk about her. Like, she'll never get to a place where they'll come out with a dope ass, beef remix thingy like she did with Lord. Just pay her dust. Nobody cares about her. 21 you said error 212 or 404. Okay. I said, if Kamala is a drunk, then she is the absolute best drunk I've ever seen. I agree. And you know what? One of the things I didn't realize, I think I mentioned this the other day, Kamala Harris, once upon a time, performed in a German synth pop band. So she's got musical experience too. So I don't think she's being performative and trying to latch onto something. Maybe it comes across like that because she's an older woman and you're thinking like, oh, she's pandering to young people. What politician doesn't fucking pander? I'll wait. They all pander. Like, this is nothing new. But Kamala is young enough, because she's 59, that can get the younger kids and the older people. She's in the middle. She's not a girl, not yet a woman. To me, Azealia Candace, don't even get me started on Candace Owens and the bullshit she just said about the woman that was just shot in the head by the cop when he was in her house. I was like, that just made me want to find her and rip them what's left of her edges out of her fucking scalp. And so for me, Azealia Candace Owens and Amber Rose are prime examples of insecurity about being Black. The way they are quick to talk down on their own kind speaks volumes for and they feel like because they financially benefit from it. I will absolutely not be participating in the bratification of our potential next president. VP Harris will not be demeaned from me. Not the bratification. Azealia used to get people together for their anti-Blackness. And said Azealia 2128 Brat. Well, I was going to say, look, 212 was a good damn song. And don't get me wrong, Azealia Banks definitely has skills as a rapper. And I like the fact that she raps over house music, but I just need her to just do something else besides being out here being a shady ass bitch. But anyway, let's move on and let's talk about someone who's an actual icon and is less problematic since we talk about, we did mention Amber Rose. Let's talk about her baby daddy, future stepmama. Well, you know, the kids, because, you know, he got a kid with her. Maybe they'll get married. I don't think Cher would actually marry AG or AE Edwards. I don't think she'd ever marry him. Just keep having fun with him. Don't get married. You don't need to. You don't want to split that coin either. So apparently Cher's got a new memoir coming out and it's going to be split into 2 parts. First of all, you know, we were sitting over here talking about like biopics and things. I would love for a Cher biopic. Who would actually play her? Should I, you know, y'all could piss people off and be like Kim Kardashian. Maybe I can get Jenna Ortega to play her. I don't know. They'd have to come up with who they can come up with that. Or maybe Dula P. You can put her on a but then she'd have to do an American accent. So it says the legendary, after years of fans hoping and praying, Cher's 2-part memoir has finally been given a release date, and it can't come out quickly enough. The legendary pop star announced she began working on the memoir back in 2018, but the book originally slated for a 2020 release. Obviously, that never quite happened, but it's second time lucky for Cher, who is finally releasing the book, Cher the Memoir, Part 1 in November of this year, 2024. Cher took to Instagram on Wednesday, July 24th, that would be yesterday, to share a black and white book cover of her upcoming memoir, Please Be 10 Parts, one fan urged, while another quipped that they've pre-ordered immediately. Whoopi Goldberg even commented beneath the post, writing, I can't wait, Cher. I'm excited, and yes, please read the audiobook. It would be so great to hear your voice and feel your vibe in every word. I would actually like that, but I believe if I'm not, oh, no, I'm not mistaken. Whoopi Goldberg is dyslexic, so that's why a lot of times she wants an audiobook version of the thing. I also, if I'm not mistaken, I think Cher is dyslexic, if I'm not mistaken. So I would definitely love for Cher to read her own words and kind of give that, you know, he was an asshole, hole. You know, I know she doesn't really be doing that as well, but this is my Jack McFarlane channeling Jack McFarlane doing Cher bit. So Day Street Books, which is an imprint of the William Morrow Group, HarperCollins publishers, said in a statement, after more than 70 years of fighting to live her life on her own terms, Cher finally reveals her true story in intimate detail in a 2-part memoir. With her trademark honesty and humor, Cher the memoir traces how this diamond in the rough succeeded with no plan and little confidence to become the trailblazing superstar the world has been able to ignore for more than half a century. The first portion is said to detail the believed singer's early life as a child before growing up and going on to marry fellow performer Sonny Bono. The highly complicated relationship that made them world famous but eventually drove them apart. Known as Sonny and Cher, the pair married in 1964 and co-hosted the Sonny and Cher Comedy Hour and the Sonny and Cher Show. Cher filed for divorce from her former husband in 1974, which was finalized the following year. The singer, who's 78, told viewers on The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon last November that she struggled to open up about the difficult parts of her life in the book, saying, "I just totally chickened out. I didn't put in some of the things that needed to be in, and they're not comfortable, but they need to be put in, so I have to go back and man up." So yeah, so the book comes out in November 19th. Part 2 is set to follow in the spring of 2025. And like so many other books, like The House of Hidden Meaning, which is RuPaul's book, and Mariah Carey's memoir and Sunny Hostin's memoir and stuff, I definitely have to get my hands on this book, because while I'm not a big Cher fan, I am curious to know about her life and what she went through. Oh, and yeah, I forgot Britney Spears, Woman in Me. That memoir was everything. And yeah, so when that Cher book come out, we definitely going to talk about it on this show, and we're going to break it on down and dissect some of the juiciest parts of the book, as a class. So I still have to say, I'm definitely excited for this book. And you know what? I love the fact that she's willing to man up and say, you know what? The book, inquired some very uncomfortable parts that I didn't want to deal with. But at some point, it's like, if you're going to be transparent, you want people to read about your life, you can't shy away from the craziness that you went through in your life. So hopefully we'll get, when we get the stuff with Sunny, and then the next book deals with, how she felt. Maybe she'll incorporate her relationship with her children. Greg Allman, the child that she had with Greg Allman, excuse me, and Chaz and his transition and all that stuff. And, we'll get the breakdown of all that. And the relationships he's had with so many younger men over the years, her career in Hollywood, the Believe era and all that stuff. So I'm definitely curious to hear what's going to be in the book, and I'm definitely looking forward to reading both parts, because it's like, yeah, somebody who's in their 70s, she's lived like 1,000 lifetimes, and you can't put that all in the book. That book would probably be like the size of The Lord of the Rings. It'd probably be like a 1,200-page book. Now, I don't know if people have the mental capacity to sit through something that heavy. So anyway, are you guys excited for this upcoming Cher memoir? If you are, if you aren't, whatever it is, let me know in the comments down below. Excuse me. I said Bill Clinton on Arsenio Hall playing saxophone. That helped him get to be president. And I feel like that was really the start of where people want theater when it comes to their politicians. Like, I feel like it got to a point where they're like, oh, well, when Bill Clinton came out and played the saxophone on Arsenio Hall, which some people would say was pandering to the black vote, and that's why people have labeled Bill Clinton the first black president, which in my opinion is an insult, but that's what people did. Barack Obama was the first black president. We're not going to do that just because Bill Clinton, did a lot and pandered a lot to the black community. Doesn't necessarily, like, we got to aspire for more than just a couple of scraps, which I remember I heard that's what somebody was saying about the whole Kamala thing and trying to vote for her. I'm not even going into that, but that's what some people were saying on social media. So politicians have always pandered to certain bases to get them to vote. You don't think Trump's been out here pandering to a certain base? All the racists and the bigots and the misogynists and the homophobes and the people that hate everything that's new and different and othered, that's his base. Just like the Democrats have their base. And it's the same thing, like, I feel like ever since the whole thing with Bill Clinton playing the saxophone on Arsenio Hall, now I feel like that set off this thing of people want their politicians to kind of give like these WWE style, theatrics. Where it's like, you got to come out and you got to behave with someone. I want to be able to have a beer with the president. No, you don't. I don't want to have a beer with you. I want you to do what we elected you to do, which is to put certain policies in place that's going to help me as a human being thrive in this world. That's what we should want, not somebody who's going to come out here and just, oh, I want to have a beer with the president. Like, no, I got friends for that. And if you don't have any friends, then maybe you need to go get you some. So I agree with that. A Cher biopic would be great. Like, I definitely would love to see a Cher biopic. And I was thinking, I don't even want to entertain the whole Netflix thing, because we had that conversation the other day with Prince's estate is going through it with the whole I think they're doing a docu-series or something or another, and they're talking about that they agreed to this certain amount, but it's gone on a little too long. It's like 9 episodes. They agreed to 6. They need to cut down 3 of the episodes, whatever the case is. They're at a stalemate right now. So, and I did kind of put that out there for Madonna that she should do that, but I'm like, no, if she's got to go through all this headache with the streaming service, might as well just release it theatrically. Chad Michaels is somewhere streaming, excuse me, steaming his wig, getting ready for, okay. And he's still out here looking like, giving the Cher stuff, impersonating Cher. JD Vance calls for taking voting power away from voters who don't have children. Oh yeah, and I heard he's going so hard on on childless people. First of all, y'all are not in office yet, so y'all can't pass none of this crap. And this is exactly what it is that they want to do. So they're giving you a taste of with this timber tantrum they're throwing because they're not liking the fact that Kamala Harris has a chance of beating Trump. This is them. They're starting their mess. They're trying to find ways to come in and stop people, and they've been doing this for years, trying to stop people from voting. They cheat, they lie, they do whatever they can because they can't fight fair and square. They have to cheat because they're mad. And Jennifer Aniston went in on JD Vance because he was out here referring to single women as like childless cat ladies. So they said, oh, you said who don't have children amidst strong Zenzi support. And yeah, so it's like while the whole Israel-Palestine thing is going on, I do feel like outside of the very few who've been out protesting, she does have a large Gen Z support, especially since a lot of the kids out here are, I think maybe the Charli XCX stuff is helping. Beyonce giving her permission to use, one of her songs is helping. And if Taylor Swift comes out and throws her full support behind, the Swifties is coming. Okay, so we have 2 more topics to go and then we are done with today's show. But before we get to those 2 topics, can you please hit that like button if you haven't already, that subscribe button, and smash that notification bell so that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. Now, speaking of MAGA, let's get into this tea about Ariana Grande's brother, who took a picture, by the way, with Kamala Harris, who is going to be on tomorrow's episode of RuPaul's Drag Race. So, an idea by a pop star, Ariana Grande's gay brother, to give a different spin to the pro-Trump slogan MAGA, Make America Great Again, has taken social media by storm, as well as seemingly baffling a few white wingers or right-wingers. Now, Pop Crave parody account Pooh Crave, because we've had many situations going on with Pooh Crave. Remember, Pooh Crave was the same one that came out and said that Justin Timberlake's toxicology thing came back, even though we all, it don't come back that damn fast. And they said that they found poppers and Truvada in his system, which had people out here thinking, oh, Justin get down with the homosexuals? Let me find out. So they said, the caption said the following: Kamala Harris chooses Frankie Grande as a running mate. The photo was taken at a private reception in the vice president's home in partnership with GLAAD last year. Now, following Joe Biden's decision over the weekend to not seek re-election, all eyes are firmly on Vice President Kamala Harris and her juggernaut bid to become the Democratic presidential nominee, which has given the president's full support and endorsement. Pooh Crave's post accrued more than 50,000 likes and thousands of retweets, with Grande himself quote tweeting it. I humbly accept. I will be reclaiming MAGA as my slogan. We shall make America gay again. Thank you, he wrote. One person made fun of some Donald Trump supporters who somehow managed to believe the announcement was genuine, because apparently they don't read and do research. Just like a lot of people out here running with this narrative that she put a lot of black men in jail during her, tenure. When it was like, okay, during the whole situation, it wasn't even all black people. It was 45. So if people actually sat and did their homework and did their research, instead of being so quick to just go by hearsay, then y'all can get up on the situation. So one person tweeted, not all the Trump supporters thinking this is real. They really are never beating the dumbest people allegations. Another person put, LMAO, he's so unserious. Anyway, hashtag make America gay again. Now, earlier this month, Frankie was forced to defend his sister when she was accused of cannibalism after putting a lighthearted post on social media. We already talked about that on the show. Where he said on Twitter, he said, this might be the most creative and lowest y'all have ever gone, alongside a screenshot of the rumor, which has been circulating on TikTok, reaching new depths daily. He went on to joke, listen, I know my sister's been eating the girls up for years, but this is a bit extreme. Besides, she's vegan, which probably explains why she's so damn skinny. And even at 35, she looks like she's 12. But I just say this is much ado about nothing. I just don't understand, like, the the maggots, as I like to call them. Y'all just get up in arms about the most dumbest of things on social media. It's like, get your life, do something with your life, and stop being so gullible where, like, somebody says any little thing and y'all get y'all titties in a twist. It's like we should, and look, the term make America gay again, that term has been floating around for a while. Y'all just not hearing about it now because Pooh Crave just put it up there. And now because everybody's in, the maggots are nervous, or spooked and nervous over this whole situation regarding Kamala Harris could possibly beat their Lord and Savior, Damian Thorne III, aka Donald Trump. Now y'all want to come out with, any little thing set y'all off. So take that up with the log camera Republicans, because the gays will eat y'all up. Y'all try it if y'all want. But anyway, so let me know what y'all think of this story in my and your opinions, all other stuff in the comments down below. Now we have a couple of comments. And Ms. Pickles says, this is why we got to be sure to vote for freedom. Exactly. So I know, look, because some people be like, but what about the freedom of other? Look, the people over in Gaza can't vote and save us. We got to save ourselves at this point. Then, with the democracy and everything, when we have our freedom still to be able to, the right to protest and all those things, we'll be allowed to do that. Y'all vote Trump in, that's going out the window. Because he wants y'all to protest. He don't want y'all to be protesting against anything. He wants y'all to just sit and bow down and love and worship him. He wants a God. He wants to be seen as a God and a dictator. He wants to be Putin and the rest of them, and Kim Jong-un and all those other dictators. Fraudulent lawsuits and election interference. Something you should know very well. Swifties created a cash app and other things for Swifties for Kamala. Well, that's good to know. I didn't know that. And MAGA stay the worst perps while accusing everybody else of it. Absolutely. That's the main thing with them, too. They've been the main offenders. They've been the main ones that take advantage of things like affirmative action. And, you got J.D. Vance out here lying, saying he was a hillbilly and he had to pull himself up by his bootstraps. Your whole family came for money. Your mother was a damn junkie who basically was a nurse stealing drugs from the hospital to continue to get high. And she wanted to blame immigrants. I mean, he wanted to blame immigrants for that. And then on top of that, he changed his name like 3 times. His real name ain't no damn J.D. Vance. The man is a fraud, yet they're still out here just windmilling for him. And it's funny because Kamala got everybody motivated, and that's when I see that video floating around of them maggots from Wisconsin. Everybody's so excited for Kamala Harris. I can't believe it. I'm like, what did you expect? Like, there's very few of y'all, and there's a lot of us out here who ain't putting up with y'all bigoted bullshit. Some of y'all need to get out of your little block and say the world don't move like y'all do. Maybe it's a little slow where y'all at because y'all not out in the world like the rest of us are. But for those of us who are way more progressive, we ain't going back to that shit. We're not going back to a time where we had to be oppressed. And I think what it is that white people are just getting mad that they're becoming the minority. But it just doesn't, what I don't understand is that people of color, especially the Latino community, who are starting to outpace other demographics and becoming the largest demographic in America. Trump is trying to deport y'all, but y'all sitting up in there trying to windmill for him and talking about y'all gonna vote for him. Like, make it make sense. Y'all think y'all are not like them over there? Is that what y'all think that is? I told you, if you are not white, they don't see it for y'all. That base does not see it for you. So no matter how hard y'all tap dance and shuck and jive to get a seat at the table, you will never get a seat at that table. And one day y'all gonna learn it, but you'll probably learn it when it's too late. Okay, so now let's get into our final topic, which is Canada versus the world. Oh, hold on now, because I just realized I spelled slams wrong. It was like, wait a minute. Okay, take two in action. So let's get to our final topic and talk about Canada versus the world and Le Monde. And this whole drama is going on with her. So drag Canada versus the well, she is part of Drag Race. Canada versus the World star Lemon has slammed body shamers after comment about the Drag Race icon's appearance followed on the season premiere of Canada's Drag Race. So I don't remember because when I looked at Lemon, she looked fine to me. I was like, did she look fat or whatever? Like, first of all, TV adds extra pounds. She didn't look that big to me when I saw it. It was like yesterday when I saw like the girls from SWV and Escape and Maya, all of them. Yeah, you can say they got big booties and curves, all this other stuff, but all the women up there on that stage was in tip-top shape. So I don't know. Lemon probably looks way different in person than she does on TV. And it was a couple of months ago when they filmed it. So that's right, Zesties. Lemon is back for round 3 after the straight up motherfucking rapstress made her top 5 for the inaugural season of Canada's Drag Race in 2019. Excuse me, she returned to UK versus the World in 2022 before once again re-entering the workroom in the ensembled Glamazons of Canada versus the World Season 2. Le Monde slayed the premiere episode of Canada versus the World, breaking her curse of placing low on a first episode and winning the challenge. But unfortunately, several bitter fans have attempted to ruin the moment by commenting on the Toronto-based performer's weight. Now, taken to Twitter to address the matter, Lemon wrote, "The comments about me getting fat are so yawn-core." Is that how they talk in Canada? "I spoke on season 1 about my battles with disordered eating and body image, and now I am physically healthy and mentally happy. Taking care of yourself doesn't always look the same, and for me, it looks a little thick." First of all, shout out to all the thick people. I like thickness. I would never want to go and be like when I was a kid, I was like really skinny. And as I got older, I put a little weight on and meat and all that stuff, and I like my thickness. THICC. Where it's like I like the my build of like where I eat, but then I also do my deadlifts and I work out and lift weights and all that other stuff, and run on the treadmill and do all the things. I would never want to be at a point where it's like, I'm just skinny and look emaciated and I'm starving all the time. Just because you want somebody to look a certain way. Now, let me follow it up by adding, "I've learned to not let it bother me anymore, and I really see it as a reflection of your mental state and not mine." Now, the Canada vs. the World frontrunner followed up with a separate post writing, anyways, just wanted to address that instead of responding to any of these comments, I love you, Zesties. Lemon teamed up with RuPaul's Drag Race's Kennedy Davenport and Drag Race UK's Cheryl for the premiere's girl group challenge. Did she change her name from Cheryl Hole? Because I remember that at one point she was Cheryl Hole. Now she's just Cheryl, similar to the other Cheryl Cole. She goes by Cheryl too. So I wonder if she just got rid of the whole. To me, I thought that was such a cute pun because I love a Drag Race pun on a name or a drag queen name pun, whereas like it's a pun a version of someone who was a celebrity. So I would have liked for her to have kept that, but I guess for branding purposes and when you're trying to infiltrate mainstream, situations, you can't say that. Now, Le Fil, Miss Delicious, and Tynomi Banks play safe, leaving Alexis Mateo and Eureka to land at the bottom with La Cajena. And you know what, Miss Delicious, you was messy for trying to get up in Lemon's head and Lemon's head. Remember Lemon heads? But anyway, so Miss Fizzlers, you was shady as fuck for trying to get all up in Lemon's head to say to her that, just think about in the future that these other girls in the show have been on here multiple times and they've competed multiple times and you should take out a strong competitor. It's like, girl, I know you just trying to be messy and stuff for TV, but you got to realize that shit gonna come back on your ass later. So when you do that, you got to be careful because now if something backfires or goes against you, you might be in trouble. And then you're going to need an alliance or you'll need somebody to help you. And I know she thinks that the Canadian girls are in an alliance, but if you watch that first episode, Lemon said that she is with Cheryl. She said that's her girl, and she ain't say nothing about me doing an alliance with you, and just a full-on Canada alliance. So she ain't said that she was doing all of that. And Eureka was messy, which I don't want to let think. Like, okay, girl, your privilege is showing. And then basically trying to say, like, well, I got the least, shady critique that you should put Lakahena and Alexis up, and I don't want to lip sync. I said, yeah, I'd have been like, bitch, for that, your ass is lip syncing for your mother tucking life in this episode. And I'm saving Alexis. And shout out to Alexis for, not biting her tongue. And she always been that girl that she's like, I'm gonna say it like I mean it. Ooh, shout it out. So far I'm living for Canada's Drag Race. It's cute or whatever. I'm definitely looking forward to see what they're gonna do with Global All Stars, but that's coming on a couple of weeks right after we wrap up the regular season of All Stars, which their final episode airs tomorrow. I think they'll probably put it up on Paramount Plus pretty early, because I remember one time last week I watched last week's episode was so boring. And I told her it was gonna be no drag. I said they was gonna put other people up in drag. You ain't see them in drag. So when I watched the episode, I was just like, I'm bored with this, whatever the case was. So I'm actually looking forward to the finale. And when I watched the episode, I think it came on I watched it around 2:30 in the morning. So they uploaded it pretty early. So I'm wondering if tonight, like as soon as midnight hit, if they're going to upload it and I can see it and then find out who wins. Or on the East Coast. So anyway, I tell this to say, what do y'all think of this story? I just don't like the fact that people out here body shaming and trying to make it seem like that people should look a certain way, and also this is ridiculous. Leave people alone. Let people, if people are comfortable in their body, let them be comfortable in their body. And I'm so sick of the fact that there's so many of these trolls that go on social media and talk smack about someone's overall looks in their body and that sort of thing. It's like, judge them on the show and the challenge. Don't be mean in that way. Just talking about, oh, you fat, you look like a big old box or whatever the hell y'all be out here saying just to try to body shame. So anyway, let me know what y'all think of this story in the comments down below. Okay, so we have comments. It says, stay off Hennifer's block, though. It's falling apart. Is it? And it said, I used to be 130 pounds, standing at 6 feet tall. I am now much thicker, and you know who does not complain about it? Okay, you better not. You better work, honey, because you want to know something. If your husband loves your curves and things, wear it. Embrace it. And it's like, yeah, damn, 6 feet, 130 pounds. Would that be considered like you're emaciated? Like, is that even a good, healthy number to be like you're 6 feet, 130? I mean, that's like model figure. But if your husband love it, then fuck what everybody else got to say, right? Isn't Lemon in a relationship? Because I'm like, if she is, I'm sure she'd be like, well, but guess what? My man ain't complaining. So why the fuck are you? In my 20s, I was like 140 pounds, and I see pictures of myself then, and I look like a twig. Mm-hmm. So I looked like I had this big old bobblehead, and I needed a sandwich when I was in my 20s. I do watch Sibling Rivalry. I have to remember when it's on, but when I do, or when I come across, yeah, because it's like it'd be so many things I'll be watching on YouTube. I told you I watch more YouTube than streaming videos, and I actually pay for. So I do watch Sibling Rivalry. Where they do half video, half you gotta subscribe to watch the full thing. But I know they're also on Spotify, and I do need to watch listen to the Spotify episode where Willem goes in on the whole RuPaul Drag Con situation. But I don't think they aired that yet. I think that might come out this Friday, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, I need to watch that. But I do watch Sibling Rivalry. They just added, really? Cool. I gotta start catching up, because I was wondering if they add on. I haven't been on Paramount Plus since the last episode of Drag Race. I need to start watching Paramount Plus, because if I'm paying for it, I need to give it my money's worth. So yeah, I want to start watching season 16 again, but I'm at I forget what season it is, but I'm at the season where, because I've been watching all the old ones, I want to watch the season. I'm watching the season with Alexis Michelle, so I have to watch that one, and I'm going in order with that. But I might go back, and I'm gonna have to go back, and I want to rewatch that season with Morphine and Saphira and all of them, because I told y'all Morphine broke her jaw. That was the tea that I got in regards to her injury. And said, what do these women see in Ben? He used to be fine. Ben who? Affleck? Rowan must be watching the he must be watching the rewind. Because he talking about what do these women see in Ben. We talked about Ben like 2 hours ago. But so yeah, you must be watching the replay. And it said, haha, it said it sure was not healthy and was archived via eating disorder. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I'm sure that we've all had that. And that's a conversation I feel like that we gays should be talking about as well. Because people always think, and that's what irritates me when I watch certain shows, where a lot of people think that women are the only ones that undergo eating disorders. There's pressure on men too. And yeah, because last night when I was at the SWV and Escape show, there was a lot of big men up in there with these snatched women. Women were on point, looking sexy, and they men's were shaped like DJ Khaled. And they didn't have a problem. But you also had those men up in there that had body, yada, yada. And there are issues. I don't know if it's just predicated to gay men, but I don't know if straight men go through eating disorder situations. But I know for mostly gay men, there's pressure on us to maintain a certain figure and to be a certain way. I remember when I lived in LA, there was a huge pressure of having a specific body type. And for a long time, I kept it up. I was up in the gym and working out and going for hikes and walks and all other stuff because I was hanging out in I was doing a lot of the event stuff out there, and I was hanging out at, West Hollywood and all those places, going to the gay bars in Silver Lake. So you got to maintain a certain body when you in LA. In New York, just like they don't give a fuck. I guess there's some people that have their particular thing, but for the most part, there's a bigger variety of men and sex parties and things of that nature when it comes to the gays. And that's why I think I liked about New York is that there's a variety of men out here. They said I fool with Paramount once every blue moon they throw out a free month. You know what? Maybe I should have did that. Just do like a free month with them and then just binge, or as they call it, churn. Because churning is what they said a lot of people been doing, is that they basically will subscribe for a month, catch up on all the shows that they want to watch, and then they cancel. Shit, I should start doing that, but I be feeling like, but I'll tell you, I be having serious FOMO when it comes to stuff, so I just have to be subscribed to everything. I need to be on some of my friends' stuff too. I have my parents on a lot of my streaming services. And I wish I could be on other people's stuff. The only streaming service that I'm on that I'm not paying for is Wow Presents Plus. A friend of mine I'm using his. Because I do be watching all the Drag Race and that other show, House on Fire, which is a ballroom show. That's cute too. They said I saw an episode of Intervention where they had a guy with an eating disorder. But was he homosexual? Was he a homosexual? So that kind of makes me wonder. But anyway, we are at the end of the show. I don't know why I always forget to take that out. Unless y'all have any more questions, comments, and concerns, I will say tune in. I don't know when I'm going to come back. I'm going to try to do a show on Sunday before I go to this movie thingy with seeing... What am I going to see? Damn, how did I forget? All right, Sleepaway Camp. I'm actually going to go see that at the IFC Theater. They have a screening that they're showing of it because I have never seen it in the movies. I think it's the 40th anniversary or something or another. And I've never seen it in the theater because I was an infant when it came out. And what happened? Oh, so, and then they're going to have the director and stuff there. So I'm actually going to go see that on Sunday. So I'm going to try to see if I can squeeze in an earlier show because the movie is not until like 7 at night. And hopefully the public transportation in New York, sometimes y'all be pissing me off, and it won't take me a long time to get there. So I'm gonna see like if I can squeeze in a show because I'm gonna be busy tomorrow and I'm gonna be busy Saturday. But don't quote me on the Sunday thing. I'm gonna try to make it. If not, I will see y'all on Monday. Oh, they said the answer is probably no, but can we expect Olympics coverage from you, rooting for Sha'Carri and Simone Biles and everyone that's Black? I'm going to try to see if I could watch some Olympic stuff this weekend. I don't know if I'm going to be able to have the time to watch stuff, but if I can get around to catching some stuff, I I'll possibly try to talk about some of the Olympic stuff on the show, or maybe y'all have to inform me because I don't know. It's gonna be so busy this weekend. I'm probably gonna have a hard time like catching stuff. I've never really been into the Olympics like that. Like I'll take a gander, especially if it's the track stuff or swimming, the men's swimming. I'll catch it. But other than that, I've never really been into the Olympics like that. I say, yeah, I was behind. I'm at Walmart Plus member, and they just gave us all 6 months of ad-free Paramount Plus. Oh, so at Walmart they're giving people 6 months of Paramount Plus for free? Well, damn. I was like, I don't even think we have a Walmart around where I'm at. There's not many Walmarts in New York. I think we have a Kmart. I think it might be more Walmarts in Long Island, but as far as like in the city, there's no. I can't think of any Walmarts or Kmarts and stuff. We have more Targets than any damn thing. That's what we got. But anyway, once again, love you all for watching. Please hit that like button, that subscribe button, notification button. Thank you for everybody that was in the comments today, including we have Roro, Onyx, Nestle Crunchy, Mrs. Pickles, Felix, Robert, who else? Oh, we had Cleveland up in here, Sailor Mermaid, Ezra Sprouts. If I miss some names, I sincerely apologize. But, per usual, the show was lit. Everybody was in the comments commenting. That's what helps this live show be lit and live and stuff. And I know I heard people talk about, well, video should be short or whatever. I'm like, if I'm doing a live stream, who the hell's in here thinking about length and edit? Anybody got time for that? This is a live show, Chad. But anyway, love you all for watching. And until next time, ciao, darlings.